Steeler Nation, I finally made it. Holy crap. What a day. I finished up working down at Washington Commanders, getting them all set up for draft day. Hop into my Mountain Dew van to drive home. As soon as I go around the corner, I swear one of those backstabbing dumpster fire Washington front office people came out and jabbed a knife in the side of my tire on the way out because he saw me on the field with my Steeler Nation hat. He saw me promoting the show. He knew what I was doing. That bastard, that dumpster fire of a team. Nah, I'm just kidding. We had a good time down there. Beautiful field. My Lord, what a good time. But the show must go on, and I only missed the first pick. Woo! Who was the first pick? Trayvon Walker, defensive end out of Georgia. No, actually, I missed a couple. Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan to the Lions. Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback, first corner off the board, going to the Houston Texans. I am so excited to have the show. I'm glad I got it up and running, guys. I'm glad you guys know you're part of the show, too. So please comment. I'm going to take your questions, your comments, as always. And Kenny Beamer, how do you know that I'm even up before I start? Kenny's like, he had two going on before I even had the feed rolling. You are the man, Kenny. He's insane. Nobody can touch Kenny Beamer in his coverage. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, it is about damn time. We are live, Miles, my buddy Miles. Great to hear from you, my friend, as always. Rainwater, can't wait to see what we come up with. First three picks. Yeah, it was three. It wasn't one. I've been in a car. I've been trying to get here for you guys. Stingley at 3. What the hell? He's that good. He's a good player. Steelers in 69 goes Steelers. And damn, that hat is fire. Steeler Nation, guys. And I was like the only one that got the like antique gold hat. Everybody else got the blacks. I went with like the gold, and I love the gold color too. So SteelerNation.com, go check it out. I'm sure you can get something like it. It's all crooked now. I'm wearing it all fancy because I did the way it's hit my hand. But Justin Fabus will be joining us soon. He's going to be coming up in the 9 o'clock hour. I am fortunate to be joined also with one of our resident draft gurus at SteelerNation.com, Mr. Ben McCallion. Ben, how are you doing, my friend? Thank you for bearing with me as I'm like running around trying to eat and get everything up. But
you made it. You made it. Hallelujah. It's awesome to be here. It's weird, too, for as fast as this draft has gone. I mean, you are now in the nick of time. And that's also, too, the blessing we have of being Steelers fans is we don't have to rush to see the first pick. We usually have the second half of the draft to look forward to. So that's always good.
Excellent point. And since I have you here, since you understand the draft so well, I want you to give me your top 3 choices for the Steelers, because just limiting to one, I think it doesn't really take into account all of the work that you do at Steeler Nation. But I want to hear your top 3 choices essentially one you would love to have that we're probably not going to get, one we're probably going to get, and then another pick that you just really, really like. So what are those for you?
Yeah, so first, I mean, I'm going to go against the grain and say I still think that quarterback is high on our list. So I love Trent McDuffie out of Washington.
Nice.
I mean, we obviously we saw Stingley go. Yeah, Sauce Gardner is obviously the better one, but he's not going to be there. Trent McDuffie may fall at 20. I love him there at corner. And I also like Jordan Davis as a defensive line. Odds are, again, he's going to be going a little bit earlier, but some mocks haven't fallen back, so I guess we'll see how the cards fall. And then obviously quarterback. I mean, in this class that's not really deep, I'd rather err on the side of let's just get one early on and have him groom behind Mitch. And of course, that is a Malik Willis here. And of course, my all my fandom here with Pitt. I love Kenny Pickett, but I think it's a Malik Willis favorable pick.
Nice. Those are the 3 excellent choices. I would be happy with all. My wet dream of the draft, which my guys know about here from the vidcasts, is Hamilton. If we can find a way to get Hamilton, who is rated on NFL.com as the number 1 prospect, yet like I want to ask you, I want to ask Matt, who's sitting in the waiting room as well, about like how does a guy like Hamilton not even being talked about in the top 10?
I think it comes down to how we tested at the combine. I mean, his play speed is not, or his speed is off, I would say, on the field. He's a great deep back guy. He can make the play. He's I think the best safety in the draft. I mean, you're also looking at Skye out of Georgia as well, but I agree with you. I mean, the fact that he tested not as what he expected. So he's okay. He's good. He's not great, but he still has a high ceiling. But I'm with you. I mean, I still think safety or somewhere about they have to address that because they don't really have Lynch depth, and they only have Terrell Edmonds for a year. So I agree with you.
Cool. And I just needed to touch base here. Thornton Black, best damn NFL show on YouTube. Greetings all. Thank you very much for promoting the show. I said we got a lot of people watching today, a bit more than we normally have for the vidcast, but I'm glad you've been telling your friends and family how good we are, the groundswell, keeping it going. And obviously Sauce Gardner just came off the board. And I got to agree with you, Michael Scott Joyner. How you doing, my friend? And it's incredible that, and I agree with you, that he was not the first defensive back taken when it seemed like he had the best upside of any defensive back in the draft, other than Hamilton as well. I mean, I think we're talking strictly corners. Sauce was supposed to have the most
sauce.
The most sauce. Thanks for finishing it. Yep. So let's join. Highway to 7 starts tonight too. Ed, good to hear from you as well. And Miles, we'll go with you right before we bring out our second draft guru. I'm surprised that all these picks, except for the Lions. No one is ever surprised. When the Lions or the Raiders pick, no one is ever surprised. But we are joined by the opposite side of the proverbial drafting coin of the draft gurus of Steeler Nation. I am now happy to introduce Matt Papiernik, writer from SteelerNation.com. Matt, thank you for joining the draft show. So glad to have the both of you on here this year when we were so crazy with our schedules last year. We had Ben over there having a bachelor party. We had you going over and getting married. And it's like, I can't even have my draft guys.
Hey, we made it on. I was there.
Oh, you were there early. Yes.
I was there in a bedroom. Made it, snuck away for the pick.
I remember. That's right.
Having everyone with us, so it was great. It was great.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I just asked Ben this question. I'm sure you probably heard it as well. But I want to hear 3 picks from you. One that would be like an absolute dream to have at this position. One that you expect to have, and then one of your favorites at this slot.
20.
If we're picking at 20, yeah.
Okay, so my absolute dream. Oh, that's a tough one. One of them came off the board just now, 2 picks ago, and Stingley Jr. I think he was a top 3 talent in the draft.
Wow.
But he had a chance of falling. But so my dream is Kyle Hamilton or Garrett Wilson. You touched on Kyle Hamilton. You like Kyle Hamilton a lot.
Yeah.
I agree with Ben. He's fallen because of his 40 time. But I mean, this dude, all you have to do is watch his very first game of last season against Florida State, where he ran from the opposite hash to the opposite sideline to make an interception, all within a blink of an eye. And play speed is an issue. And then Garrett Wilson, I think, is just the best wide receiver in the draft. He's essentially if you could combine elite athletic traits with Deontay Johnson, that's what you get in Garrett Wilson. So if you want a better Deontay Johnson, you go Garrett Wilson, at least coming out of college profiling. But I don't think either of them make it there, unfortunately. Who I realistically think, I agree with Ben. I think Trent McDuffie is an option. I think the other Ohio State wide receiver, Chris Olave, is an option. Both of those are 2 guys that if they don't go quarterback like Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, Matt Crow, they don't go one of those guys, I think, which it seems like they're not souring, but it seems like the heat is coming off quarterbacks a little bit right now. I don't know why a lot of the media, a lot of Steeler Nation is talking about how they're not necessarily heavy onto the quarterbacks as strongly these last few days.
Yeah, I think reality setting in.
Yeah,
quite honestly,
which makes it very difficult to see who they will pick because everyone kind of knows the rules that if Colbert and Tomlin aren't your pro day, they don't draft you in the first round. Well, you take out the quarterbacks, I think everyone else will be gone.
Well, Hamilton, they did check out Hamilton. I know that.
Yes, they checked out Hamilton, but I personally don't think he falls that far. So that's what I'm saying. They'll be gone. I mean, they didn't go to Ohio State's pro day, so that eliminates the wide receivers. They didn't go to Washington, so that eliminates Trent McDuffie. Jordan Davis, they went to Georgia's, but will he be there? I don't think so.
Yeah.
So you start whittling down. Okay, well, do you take a linebacker in Nakobe Dean? You have two linebackers that are fast already. You start really kind of figuring out who to go with, and it's kind of pigeonholing someone maybe higher than I would think you should take them.
And Kenny Beamer jumping on here too. Oh gosh, I hit the wrong one. Giants take Kayvon Thibodeau. How about them now? I guarantee.
You think, Matt?
I personally think he's the best player in the draft talent-wise.
Wow.
People are just getting on him for sitting out. He's been the best player everywhere he's gone. He dominates everywhere he plays. In my opinion, he's the best player, best upside. That's just what I thought. I thought that about Stingley as the corner too. So he just had the injury as opposed to sitting out. So when you don't play a lot of the year, people lower you down their boards a little bit.
Yeah, and thank you to Kenny Beamer saying, hit that like button, guys. That's self-promotion. That's how we get boosted up the ratings. That's how we start trending on the Twitters and the tickety talks or whatever those kids are doing.
The tickety talk.
The tickety tie, not like a clock. I don't get it. What's going on? Oh, wait, hey, is that a Junior Smith-Schuster doing clock dances? I don't understand him. I don't like that kid at all. Clock and tickety talk.
Yeah, I love you, Stryker.
Well, so keep hitting that like button. I know I'm on Instagram. I got off of Facebook. There's too many old people on there, me included. That's why I got off of it. Jennifer, thank you for joining the show. Jennifer Grande, the much more attractive sister to Andre Grande. She wants to know if there is any chance that we get Pickett.
Of course, there's a chance, I would say, but odds are, I still think that the Panthers are going to call him only because of the relationship between him and Rule here in Charlotte. If he doesn't go there, then I would say the next would be the Saints. If the Saints don't get him, then there's a better chance, obviously. But I would say it's all dependent upon what the Panthers do and what the Saints do.
Perfect. And
I feel like I need to go change. I'm not wearing my Steelers gear right now. You guys are
I have all my Pepsi stuff on. I literally just threw a hat and a sweatshirt on. I was going to shower. I was going to trim my beard down. And thank you very much for still liking my beard, Miles, even though I didn't get a chance to trim it. It's still in decent shape. I did cut my hair and trim the sides yesterday, but I was going to sculpt this a little bit. It's getting a little like a
little shape up.
The tail end of a goat or something. I got that going on for me. Miles again.
Stryker, I think you're better looking than a goat.
Well, I take that as a compliment if I lived in the Middle East. Miles Pressgrave. Panthers are picking up Malik. No way they did it. Giants Thibodeau. Thank you, Robert Cooley. I appreciate you being on the show. Got to know what you're drinking tonight, Cooley. Let me know if you're probably on the whiskey yet. Miles, it's so sad that even though they pick up these monster players, they will still be trash. I hope not for the Giants, because that's a good. Thibodeau is a really good player, and do you think he has the potential to be as good as T.J. Watt then, Matt?
Yes.
Nice.
Now put it this way, I'm not going to say he is going to be T.J. Watt because being the best edge rusher in the league is always lofty expectations to put on anyone. But right. I think he definitely is going to be one of the premier edge rushers in the league. He definitely has that ability. He has the ability to be in a 3-4 and a 4-3. If you remember the Giants of old, I say of old, if you remember the Giants of a decade ago, when they had the premier pass rushers with everyone, it seemed like every year they were just restocking new pass rushers. And then Pierre-Paul.
Pierre-Paul had all his fingers. Yeah.
But that's why I think Thibodeau could be for them, just rushing off the edge. He's a speed rusher, power rusher. I love his long arm move. I don't really understand how he does it. He just kind of shoves his arm out into your chest and you can't get to him.
Wow.
It's kind of what Cam Hayward does a little bit, except more on the interior. So I think he can be elite.
Wow. And
obviously he's a top 5 pick. And so you should be able to be elite at a top 5 pick.
An interesting perspective here from Thorson Black. Thibodeau looks like a rhinestone duck. I don't have the draft on. My TVs are out at events today, so I haven't even had a chance to see what's going on. But but at least I'm here talking about it and at least hearing from you guys who's getting picked up. So this question, I want to go to you first here, Ben, on this one. Michael Scott Joyner has a question for us. If Hamilton falls past number 10, do you think the Steelers trade up?
No, only because safety is not really high on their priority list compared to obviously quarterback is out there. Gets reports showing either a defensive line linebacker as well, and argue that the cornerback is there. So no, and plus two. I mean, right now they have 7 picks as well, and I think that they like having a lot of those picks going into next year, really setting up the new crew going in.
Yeah.
So no, and again, just quite honestly, the need is not there to push up an extra 10 spots just for a potential backup safety, if you will.
So Matt, do you agree or disagree with that assessment?
I agree. I think the true spot where you would see a trade up would potentially be around that, 12, 13, 14 range. I mean, obviously not 14. I think that's the Ravens. So obviously not with them specifically.
Here's your player, Pittsburgh. Are they going to go wide receiver this year?
But I don't. So the Redskins I see as like a big contender for getting Hamilton. Vikings at 12 also. So both those teams I think could be interested. So I don't think they would be necessarily the team to trade up with. I think if you get past them though, then you could see a minor trade up just so the Steelers could snag them. But I agree with Ben. I don't see a trade up happening for him.
I at least hope he's on the radar if he does drop past 10 here, Michael Scott Joyner, because this is the type of position that is still, being manned by a player who I just think he's a good to average to good. Yeah, he's there. He's a strong safety in the NFL, 4-year starter that was sitting there in free agency all the way up until the draft. Nobody else put in an offer higher than 2.4 mil. So I think we could find a guy, maybe not even in the first round, maybe somebody out of Penn State in the second round, maybe safety out of Penn State. Forget the guy's name. I know you guys know it.
I just lost typing it. Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So I'm blanking on it too.
I think he's a gamer. I think he's an absolute gamer. He doesn't have necessarily the hype around him, but he's just a football player.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, Robert's coming back with his drinks. Yingling is sold down here now, so I am drinking some Yingling lager, Redbreast whiskey, and then the Steelers on draft. I'm correcting it there for you, Cooley. That's great. Robert! How you doing, Robert? Here we go. Hey, guys. Steelers mediocrity at offensive tackle and cornerback are likely going to be ignored these first couple days of the draft, and that will probably come back to bite them in the butt this season. So Robert has always had a really interesting perspective, and dare I say, a thoughtful perspective on if the Steelers' depth is not there at corner or at offensive tackle. If we have any issues during the season, then we're kind of falling off a cliff. And he does make a point. So I wanted to hear from you guys. Is that offensive tackle spot, especially the left tackle spot, which Robert likes to talk about, and the cornerback spots, should they be a higher priority than we're normally talking about?
I think corner.
One's coming off here.
Yeah, corner's always high, and that's the problem with the Steelers. And we've been talking about this on previous shows. Is that when we start drafting corners, we're drafting in the bottom third of the draft each year. That's why the Steelers have problems getting elite corners. I mean, other teams do a better job of drafting them later. Steelers try to get their guy in the first round, but don't always get their guy in the first round. And I'm going to join one of my best friends at Steeler Nation here, co-host of me on the podcast many times, the host of the Twitter Spaces, the one, the only, Colton Gesser. How you doing, Colton? Welcome to the show, man. Good to have you on the draft show.
What is up, boys? What is up?
Colton.
Now we're trying to do the Brady Bunch. We got lots of guys on here now. I'm going to play with the formats. Nope, that doesn't do much.
That's like look down at Matt and look over at you.
Yeah. We got to do the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, you can just do me. Put everybody in the small boxes. That's where we're going to go. So, Colton, do you have any opinions on who you would like to draft? I gave this question to Ben. I gave this question to Matt. I want one person that would be a dream pickup for you, one person you probably think the way the Steelers are going to go, and one person that you really, really like at that 20 spot.
For me, I think a dream pick is Trent McDuffie out of Washington. I think Steelers, again, they've addressed corner. They brought back Akel Witherspoon. They brought in Levi Wallace. They got Cam Sutton here, and then Arthur Millette they brought back as well, and then James Pierre as well. But I still think they need a top-tier corner, and that could be Trent McDuffie. And then the guy who I think happens, if he slides, it's Malik Willis. I think there's no way the Steelers pass up a quarterback like Malik Willis. They haven't hit it, but they love him. And for me, the guy that I personally want, guy that was in CJ's article, Jordan Davis. I'm a Michigan fan. I saw what he did to Michigan's offensive line. The guy's an absolute monster on the inside. What if the Steelers get gashed in last season was the run game? This guy's going to easily help fix that issue on the inside. And something that you said, Stryker, was the concern on not having Stephon Tuitt fully committed yet.
Right.
He fills that role. And I know some people, we had some conversation. We were on Instagram Live on Wednesday, yesterday, on Berg Central on the SteelerNation.com Instagram. We had some comments that nose tackles don't get many snaps. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, this guy's going to get a lot of snaps if he's there, because he can rush the passer and he can stop the run. Jordan Davis is an absolute monster. Is he there at 20? I don't know. That's what I want, but I'm excited, boys. It is draft day. It finally hit me. We've kind of talked about it. Like, I feel like you're beating a dead horse talking about the draft. Like, every single time, like every space we've done, every vidcast you've done, it's like just hyping up the draft. And now it's here, and it's like, all right, cool, it's draft day.
It's Steelers Christmas. We got a new player, everybody. That's what I love about the draft. It's like 3 days of Christmas. We're going to get like 8 new players and then undrafted rookie free agents. Everybody's coming in. It's like Kwanzaa and Hanukkah and Christmas all rolled up into one.
It's 3 crazy nights.
There you go, man. That's a good one. That's a good
I love the hat, by the way, Stryker.
Thank you, man.
Ordering it, I thought it was like a little too like yellow, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if it's gonna. Dude, it looks good. I like that tan look. It looks good, Stryker.
Yes, yeah, and that's what I like, the darker yellow on this look too, and it's already been mentioned by a couple of our friends here on the in the comment section. So go over to SteelerNation.com, click on the gear page, and get geared up, guys. That's what I do. You can even get a podcast sweatshirt. I don't even know if they exist anymore, but maybe we get them going again. Let's hear it from our Steeler fans and friends out here. Puma Pudgy, quarterback is a need. That's great, because we got Robert saying don't draft a quarterback. We got Puma saying draft a quarterback. We got Tim Y, who I call Tim I. Tim, how you doing, bro? Former Ducks are usually all quack. And I think that's in reference to somebody that just came off the board. Is that true? Or
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. And then we just see that the 6th pick in the draft went from NC State to the Carolina Panthers. It's not who some people were expecting Malik Willis to go in the spot. He did not. Yeah. So Icky, how do you pronounce his last name, draft gurus?
Ekwuno. I can't even say it. Echo. Never mind.
What's that, Ben?
I just call him Icky. That's it. I call him Icky.
I pronounced it 5 times on my podcast last night. Perfectly fine. And now I'm here and I can't say it. Ikem Ekwonu. There we go.
It's like Chooks. Same thing.
Right. And Puma's asking too, do you think we're going to go after a quarterback? You know, I'm not saying we're definitely going after a quarterback for me personally, but it's like shaking a magic 8 ball, and it's like all signs point to yes. Is the kind of the answer I'm getting, because it's just the way the Steelers have done their due diligence in the offseason, trying to find their next quarterback, interviewing all the top 5 guys. Is that just seem like an inevitability now, Colton?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm getting some stuff. It looks like the Giants are also going offensive lineman here. Neal from Alabama looks to be the next guy off the board. I feel like the Giants kind of had the perfect draft situation fall to them. I don't think they expected Kayvon to slide, just like the Lions didn't expect Hutchinson to slide. And here we are. That's what it seems like what's going next. But for the Steelers, the quarterback talk has been talked a lot about, boys. And Matt and Ben and Stryker, I know you guys have heard plenty of it on the spaces. For me, I'm not interested. I was getting ready to hit the eject button on Matt on the last space we did Monday with the nonsense this guy was spewing with 2 quarterbacks being taken in this draft. I was going to hit the eject button on you, Matt, but too much respect for you. But the thing is, we've heard how long have we heard as Steeler fans that the Steelers, like from the media, that the Steelers haven't drafted their successor for Ben? Why are we rushing now? Like a lot of the teams that were in the top that are possibly looking at quarterbacks next year, like the Giants, Detroit, a lot of those teams were Atlanta. We're possibly looking to trade backwards to get assets for next year to get up in next year's class, like Matt has talked about on the spaces. Clearly the two front runners and Stroud and Bryce Young, but then you got CJ Ugalele. You got the kid at Kentucky that you mentioned, Matt. There's a ton of other players along the way. So why are we settling for second best where, again, Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Desmond Ridder, all those guys are probably 5, 6, 7 in next year's class. So why are we settling for less? I'd rather build the roster up. The Steelers have a ton of need. Wide receivers, one of them. I guarantee we see two this weekend. I think we see two receivers taken by the Steelers. Could they go offensive line help? Clearly. Corner, it's a deep draft. Like, they have a bunch of other needs. Quarterback for me is not there. Again, I like Malik Willis. I like him. If the Steelers trade up, my Twitter is going to be a fun site to be at because it's going to be bad. But if he's there at 20 and they take him, I wouldn't hate it. Like, I would get it. If that's their guy, cool, go with it. But for me, I'd rather wait till next year in a class that you have a little bit more answers to. That's kind of right. Matt, I love the Husky, Matt. That's awesome. I love that.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Come here,
Matt,
bud.
You're the Ohio State guy, right? Who went to Ohio State?
I did.
Yes. So I've got a question directly for you and your Husky. Now, what's your Husky's name?
Zeus.
Zeus. Okay, from
A
Miles.
Husky named Zeus and a lab named Zoe sitting right here.
Nice. From Miles Pressgraves, have you guys looked at Skye Moore? He looks so talented. Would he fit in the Steelers system? So start off with Matt, since you love that team so much.
I'm gonna pass this. Actually, you're going to me first, but I'm passing this off to Ben. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, going to Ben.
So Skye Moore's Ben's fan. Like, if Skye Moore had a fan club, Ben would be the president, the treasurer, the vice president. He probably founded it. He'd be the one recruiting Skye Moore to come to the events.
He was my first draft profile, I think, that I hit on so far this offseason back in February. He's a Western Michigan guy, Mac. He went to it was Shadyside Heights, so he's a local Pittsburgh kid. I love him for the Steelers, by the way. He's kind of like a Hines Ward, obviously not as stocky, but he plays in the slot. Steelers don't have a slot receiver that they need. Skye Moore has some of the best hands. He's risen on a lot of draft boards that I've seen. Back again in February, we were talking about him. He was like right between either 15, 20th ranked in the receivers. He's now up. I saw that Mel Kiper had him as the 8th best over like John Mechie, right there at Jahan Dotson out of Penn State, right around that level. And again, I think teams see a lot of value in a steady slot receiver. And again, Steelers don't really have that yet. And that's what they need. And quite frankly, that's where a lot of the receivers in Pittsburgh have had a lot of success. I keep going back to Hines Ward. But Skye Moore really fits that bill, and he's going to be there, I think. It's not going to be tonight. It's going to be at some point tomorrow. I'm banking on the third round. If he's there in the third, hop all over him.
Great. Thorson Black also asking, is there a chance the Steelers looking to deepen their offensive line here with their first pick?
With their first pick, I'd be a little surprised, to be honest, unless someone falls. Like if someone like Charles Cross falls, I could see it because Charles Cross is an elite tackle prospect. But with already the other two off the board, I don't see that happening. Linderbaum, I don't think is really in the equation now. They have Mason Cole along with Kendrick Green now to compete there. And even guard, I was on Kenyon Green bandwagon forever. I think I brought him up in the group chat every day. But now that they signed James Daniels, got Kevin Dotson there, and then whoever loses the center battle can be the backup. I find it hard to believe they would go offensive line in the first round unless someone like Charles Cross falls.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that having a depth guy is really at the top of the list and in terms of 20th overall.
And I apologize for jumping off of there for a second. I've got multiple events still going on. Still have people over at the Washington Commanders draft party. My wife's actually taking the truck down to pick up the equipment. That was the way it was supposed to be planned tonight anyway, before I lost a tire on it. Still going, but that's how we can keep going with the show today. We're going to go back here with the Steeler Nation to see what you guys are up to. Robert, I know you only talk University of Houston, but Robert doesn't sweat the Steelers. Will take Marcus Jones out of University of Houston in the third. How do you guys like Marcus Jones?
I do. I'll be honest with you. I think third might be a little early, Matt. You think maybe fourth, depending? I don't know.
Third, fourth, I'd be fine with it. My reaction was to the Falcons pick that we just got text about. But I do like Marcus Jones. He'd be a good slot guy. He reminds me a lot of Mike Hilton, to be honest with you. So I think Stryker would jump on his bandwagon in a heartbeat.
Drake London
would absolutely love that. Yeah, Drake London being the first wide receiver off of the board to the Falcons. Is that somewhat of a shock that Drake London would be the first wide receiver off the board?
Based on how I rank them, yes. There was talk that he could be the first wide receiver taken, but he reminds me of
Who was the guy that got drafted by the Eagles a couple of years ago?
Oh, please. Oh, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
Yeah. So
okay.
he could. Drake London kind of reminds me of a slightly higher ceiling Juju Smith-Schuster. Big.
Well, shocker, University of Southern California guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's a slot possession receiver at its finest. I think he would have been great on the Steelers, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Replacing Juju perfectly. Big, physical. He can play outside a little more effectively as well, but that's kind of reminds me as a high upside Juju.
Nice. Guys, I got to show you my daughter here before she goes to bed. It's draft day, so of course she's repping her Steelers jammies. Looking good with your new haircut there, Viola. Want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. Hi. Oh, I got my puppy too. Hey, Liza, come here. Come here.
Man, it's full house.
Yeah.
Gang's all here.
Come on. Up. Hey, there's Liza. Everybody keeps asking about Liza, and she's usually not on the show because the cat's in this room. The cat keeps her out because she's afraid of the cat, and the cat hates her. But Liza's here tonight. We'll give Liza a little bit of screen time there. Right, Liza? Thank you for joining us on the show as well. Even though you're a Browns fan, yeah, the Browns are awesome. I think they're going to draft the best this year. Let's go, Mayfield. Well, Baker's not the starter anymore. Well, I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're still going to win all the games. Okay, that's a Browns fan right there. This is how COVID turned me into a person that just converses with myself all of the time.
Do what you got to do sometimes.
Viola,
Bro, Ben, I love the setup, dude.
Yeah,
Ben,
right.
That I remember we did this last year. You were out here in the freaking bathroom. Much respect on that, but
this is my war room, man. This is my war room.
Is that a James Conner jersey? Who is that? Is that Conner?
Yeah. I got Minka, Connor, Duck, and TJ.
That's tough. See, my frame jerseys are up in my room, so I clearly can't sit on my bed. I would actually hate myself trying to do these things. But dude, the setup pretty. Oh, TJ Watt, I'm gonna have to come to your house and steal it, bro. I need a TJ Watt jersey.
Good luck. Bad, come and take it.
All right, Ben. I'll meet you in the hole, man. I'll meet you in the hole. Best man wins. I'll toss up. What do you need? I got Minka already. I'll toss up Shazier. All right, dude. We'll do that. Winner.
Hold on. You got Shazier. Whoa. Hold on. What do you want for this? So let's go. What are we doing for this year?
I got a Shazier college jersey, actually.
Nice. Going to Steeler Nation, Michael Hall. Hey, yo, I finally made it to my first Steelers vidcast draft party. Let's go, Steelers. Woo! Way to go, Michael Hall. I always accidentally call him, if you guys don't know, Anthony Michael Hall, because I was a huge Anthony Michael Hall fan back in the day. It dates myself, but I love Michael Hall even more. Good to hear from you. Heather Myers. Hey, guys, repping Steeler Nations from Tiffin, Ohio right there. Hi, Viola. Right beside Findlay, Ohio. Right? Isn't that where Ben Roethlisberger grew up and played high school football? Did you watch him do that there, Heather? That would be amazing if you did.
Please, she's not that old. Her picture, she looked kind of young.
Oh, yes. And
what are you insinuating here, Stryker?
I just think it's interesting to live in that area and be able to watch him. Now, you are putting it in the right perspective, because that would have been like 28 years ago when he was playing high school football. Yeah. Okay, my bad. Derek Lore. Hey, what's up, my man Stryker? I know we need a future quarterback, but we need to beef up our defensive line and cornerbacks to try and get back to the steel curtain. And that brings me to a point that I want to talk to you guys, because one of my wants at this spot is the one that I picked on Steeler Nation, and that would be Davis, the defensive lineman, which we did talk a little bit about. Would that be one of our more impactful spots that we can draft here in the first round? I'll start off with you here, Colton.
Absolutely. It's a guy I want. Again, I might also fell in love with him watching him destroy my Michigan Wolverines, but the guy's an instant impact. Like, the size of him is absolutely disgusting. The last nose tackle they took in the first round turned out to be pretty darn well. A guy at Texas, big snack. Casey Hampton, I think he can have a bigger impact than what Casey was for the Steelers. This guy is absolutely disgusting. The stuff flies off the tape. It sticks out. The guy is an absolute monster. Again, what I would absolutely love to get him, Jordan Davis. Would love to get him. I'd be extremely happy. See, like, I would be a happy tweeter then. I'd be a very, very happy tweeter if they get Jordan Davis.
Nice, man. And Robert, I'll go back to you another time here. What I know you're saying we need defensive tackle, offensive tackle depth, which we talked about. Obvious wide receiver, safety, cornerback. So trading down in the first to say 20th to a 30th, at least a second or a third. So Matt and Ben, what are your thoughts about trading back? I know at least from listening to Kevin Colbert, he states that it's the hardest part about trading back is finding a partner and getting value out of that trade back.
Right. I would say that in between it, you're banking on someone that you like being wherever you plan on trading.
Yeah.
So, like I said, it kind of plays into that. In this draft, I would much rather trade back that up, if that says it. I completely agree with you. There's so much depth inside of, I think some of the top players in this draft are going to be called tomorrow and not tonight. You can call it a hot take, whatever you want.
Yeah.
But just with the draft or the depth that's in this draft, it's not a smart thing, like what you said, Robert. I would be for it. I guess that's a long answer to say I agree with you. It's just a matter of who are the Steelers eyeing up where they see it's worth trading back. And as what Colbert said, and here with Stryker, you got to find a dance partner. So it's just how everything comes together.
And Matt, I like the second question here too from Robert. What's the most you think the Steelers could get by trading down to the bottom of the first? And what do you think they get if they do such a trade down in the second and or third rounds?
Okay, so I'll answer the first part of that.
Well, let's just talk about the first. That would, like other rounds, it gets a little tougher. But today's day one. If we're trading back in the first, like from 1 all the way to 30, that was my cat storming through the cat door here, getting away from the dog. Sorry about that. But yeah, from going from 20 to 30, what would you expect would be the draft value that we get?
I've kind of looked into this a little bit. I think a good trade partner could potentially be Kansas City. They have 2 first rounds at the end. So I've done some scenarios in my head. They have the 29th and 30th. So, the potential to move up is very strong, something like that. But they could probably net a third rounder, maybe a second rounder next year if Chiefs didn't want to give up a additional pick this year. Something along those lines, but a minimum, probably a third rounder. And depending on where the Chiefs pick in the third round, it's probably late considering, they're pretty good. So a third rounder and then maybe add on a 6th or something, depending on that. But so move back 9, 10 picks and you pick up a third round pick, plus maybe a late pick or a flyer pick next year. I think the value could be there. And I honestly would be a fan of trading back because I've said it before multiple times. The top end talent isn't necessarily in this draft, even though there are some guys. Mm-hmm. But the depth throughout the first, second, and even third round is insane. That comes from the extra year of college eligibility and everyone be able to go back. So now there's a flood of extra people coming out because they all came back last year. So now the depth is insane.
Wow. Hearing from Kedron Boog Willis. He wants to be picking up Willis. Robert C. He has the podcast t-shirt. That's good to hear there, Cooley man. Love to hear that. Bo, coming from Facebook. How you doing, Bo? Good to have you on the show, man. Quarterback or wide receiver? We'll go quickly. If I was picking, I'd say wide receiver because I still want that need at slot. Colton.
I guess you're going to go quick. I guess wide receiver because I'm not a huge quarterback fan of this class. So if you're going to ask me wide receiver, but I'd rather wait till day 2 on that. But the quick answer is that.
So as a fun fact, the Steelers have drafted a wide receiver twice in the last 22 years, that being on Plexico Burress in 2000, trading up for Santonio Holmes in 2006. So with the trend, I'm actually going to be going quarterback.
Very well said.
Okay, Mel Kiper. Okay, Mel.
Matt,
I like
what do
it.
you
I
say?
like it.
He took a sharp right-hand turn, though. I'm not Trent. I love it.
I'd take wide receiver. This wide receiver class is elite at the top. It's good in the second round, slowly starts fizzling out later in the draft. So take some of these elite guys. I mean, Jameson Williams, Olave, grab one of them.
See, this is interesting here with the Jets. I think the Jets could go wide receiver here. This
But
is
I
this
don't
is Hamilton
understand it.
possibly too.
Mhm.
Yes, but I don't understand why people are saying wide receiver to them, and they've hinted wide receiver. But I mean, they drafted Elijah Moore last year, Denzel Mims the year before, even though Denzel Mims has been a bust. But you've drafted now a second round, and what was Elijah Moore? Was he a first round or a second round?
No, he was
round
second.
pick.
He was early
Yeah,
second.
So back-to-back second-round picks. I mean, how much capital are you going to put into these guys?
Right.
I wouldn't do it if I'm the Jets. I think the Jets need to reload on that defense, and they can easily get a really good player here. They got rid of a safety in Jamal Adams. Kyle Hamilton's one of the best players in this draft, and the problem is he plays safety, so it's not valued as high. Dude, I can easily see a situation with Derwin James. I've kind of said that on the Twitter Spaces. He could slide right down this board, man. He really can.
Don Santu, please. No quarterback. He's with us. Puma, what you got to say here, man? I think we have a chance to make the Super Bowl if we grab a quarterback. Mike T never had a losing season, depending on how we do in the draft. And personally, I just think it's still a really interesting trend that a quarterback or a coach like Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. It's never happened this long in anyone's tenure in NFL history. I mean, he's in the rare era of like the Don Shulas when we're talking about people that start their careers with this kind of aplomb and winning. And I know, and it's still odd that we still lose to teams that we think we should beat, but we're beating the teams that are better than us too. So it's like it's always a crazy year every time we're watching Pittsburgh Steeler football, guys.
Situational football.
Yep. Getting the popcorn ready there. I love emojis. They just speak so much to me. Is that Muth? Is that Muth? Matt, you're looking like Muth down there in the box, right?
I like it. Hey, I'll take it. That's a compliment.
I know.
That's a big compliment. I mean, I think I'm personally a little better looking, but I'll lower my bar a little bit if I become a millionaire.
Right.
Shots fired. Oh my.
First Ohio State wide receiver off the board.
Yeah, Miles would be disappointed. Oh, the big Ohio State one coming off. Oh, yeah, I knew you'd be sad about it. So who was that?
Garrett Wilson.
Okay, so that was still one of the top. So now that Wilson is off the board, and I believe the first
Drake
one, London is off the board. Who are the next best?
Williams.
Yeah, Williams is still there. I heard a lot of mock drafts having him going first out of all the receivers with his size speed ratio. Is he the one that's coming back from the knee?
Yeah, so he won't be available till like October, but
right.
Speed kills, man. Speed kills.
Yeah.
And these teams picking right now, the Jets, they're not competing this year, so you can afford to have them wait. You don't need them right away. Who's next? Even the Redskins. I mean, not that they need a receiver right away, but you're not competing. You don't have a quarterback.
Right.
So it's one of those you can afford to wait when you're a team like this.
Well, we'll see if they go quarterback here then. Robert, I am less worried about the Steelers starting quarterback being injured than I am about several other depth positions which have no depth. I mean, yeah, that's part of the draft is trying to fill in those depth positions, especially when we lost Ben to retirement and a lot of people in free agency this year. And obviously, it looks like we're not going to have a comp pick next year with as aggressive that we were in free agency, both having the money and the need to have to fill up so many people when we had a lot of free agents leaving as well.
Again, I've been very passionate about it. And again, the guys have calmed me down because I've gotten there's no need for a quarterback. There's no need. There's absolutely zero need in the first 3 rounds for a quarterback. It's not a good quarterback class. Every talking head said Kenny Pickett could have been gone. It sounded like it was a lock with Pickett.
Right.
And he's not there. And sorry to tell you, Washington's not going quarterback either. They got Carson Wentz. They're not doing it. These quarterbacks are going to fall. Mason Rudolph could have went in the first round late with that draft class, and he didn't. And guess what? He slid all the way to the 3rd round. I remember the Steelers came up I remember the Steelers came up in the second round. I'm like, oh, they're going to take Mason Rudolph here. And then boom, they didn't. And he was there in the third round. I was like, all right, he's not going to last another round. We're going to take him here.
Yeah.
This class isn't good. Sam Howell, Matt Corral, all these guys could fly all the way back in this draft and take one then. I know Ben's a big Carson Strong guy. Like, you could take those guys in the 4th, 5th round if you want a quarterback that badly. Why are all the teams that need quarterbacks in the top, they're not taking Pickett or Willis? What is that telling you? They're not that good.
Right.
Why are we rushing and taking one? We've passed the baton how many years on not drafting a quarterback when it was like, the Steelers got to take one. Steelers have to take one. Draft Ben's successor, and they never did. So why are we all of a sudden doing it? No. Sorry, just because Ben retired doesn't mean we have to go out and draft a quarterback the first year. No thanks. We could pass it to next year where there could be 5, 6, 7 really good quarterbacks. Yeah. No thank you, Coach.
And Kelvin agrees with you. Quarterback in this year's draft are not good enough. Get cornerback or wide receiver. Get quarterback next year, which has a better quarterbacks coming out. You guys are on the exact same page there. How are we doing here in the draft? We even talk about that the Seahawks got Charles Cross. I mean, it's a lineman. We're not as excited about linemen.
Saints They're not on the block. Hold up. They just traded up.
Oh, here's a quarterback.
Uh-oh.
There's a quarterback, right? It has to be, right, Matt?
Yeah. Well, quarterback here. Why would they have traded up from
make sure the Steelers don't? Make sure the Steelers don't?
Maybe.
That wouldn't make any sense. They don't.
But it means like the Eagles, the Ravens, Houston, and Minnesota were picking between them, and none of those teams were going to grab a quarterback. The only one would have been the one that they traded with, which is Washington, what I've seen.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that would be the only thing. This is an area where there's a lot of rumors that if a team wanted Malik Willis, that this would be an area to trade up that 11 through 15 range because you have to jump the Saints in theory.
Right.
But
the Saints jump themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. So you trade up to make sure another team can't trade in front of you.
Well, also Washington could have easily been playing jokes on him, like, "Hey, I got Pittsburgh on the line with this offer," which it could be true. Pittsburgh could have offered him something, and then all of a sudden, New Orleans like, "Nah, we're going to offer right over it, and we're going to give you a better offer," and boom, and jump. I don't know. Again, that's why I wish I was a fly on the wall during draft day, just sitting there and see what the heck goes on in the draft.
It's a Kevin Costner move.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's why I loved that movie, because only in fiction can the Browns screw up so horribly like we're used to seeing them do, but then they fix it. But that's never happened in reality. That's why it's strictly fiction. That's why that to
go 0-16.
all that to have that GM. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Kevin Costner was probably fired that year after that. Yeah, Jets are picking their O-line there, Miles. Yeah, you're right about that. Now, JR also saying no QBs. No QBs, JR. Yeah, I hear you, man. Rebuilding season. We were rebuilding last year when we had 7 rookies or 6 rookies start game 1. That's how you knew we were in rebuilding mode. 4 on offense.
Reload.
Yeah,
Steelers don't rebuild.
That's true. That's the way that the Ravens also state it the same way. You guys are lame. Thanks, Raymond. Everybody has an opinion, but I laugh at my own jokes. Oh, yeah, let's give it up to Haskins. Another reason why we're all talking about quarterback a little bit more than we have to. But, man, that still kills me every time I think about it, Puma. Absolutely kills me. And then Miles, if we pick Willis, I'm actually going to cry, and I will drive to Colbert's house myself and ask why. It's the Huskies asking why right now.
Jesus.
Hey, it's Trent McDuffie.
Yeah, we got the Huskies in town.
Uh-oh.
That's a good call, Ben. Ben,
hey,
you're a funny guy, man.
He runs a better 3-cone drill than Trent McDuffie.
Puma's saying Mason is trash, and so is Mitch. Now, Ben, I want to go to you on your Mitch take specifically, just so Steeler Nation can really understand what we have in Mitch Trubisky as a starting quarterback.
The walking billboard.
I think, again, you got to compare to the open market. There's so many different ways that I can go with this. And we only have like 30 seconds, or I only have 30 seconds. So, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can go with this. You got to compare to the open market. First of all, you got to compare to age, what the Steelers were looking for, and obviously price tag. He came at a discount to the Steelers. He has starting experience. He has playoff experience. He was a top 5 pick in his selective class. And last year, he spent valuable time albeit as a backup, but behind a Josh Allen and a playoff caliber team who arguably should have gone to the Super Bowl, I think, it's safe to say. So take all of that and you get him in a package deal. And again, at a discount, not a big, you're not locking him into the long term. So there's no big, I would say, like, what am I looking for? A big commitment, if you will.
Yeah.
And he's made it where he's okay with really trying to fight for that starting job. He's not going in thinking he is the starter. But he had, I mean, you have to look at his completion percentage. Again, you got to look at how efficient he is with his passes. Sure, he has trouble with the deep ball, but the Steelers offense already showed that they aren't reliant on the deep ball anyway. So that's completely irrelevant at this point.
Yeah.
And again, he has the playoff experience that the Steelers are looking for. He wasn't bad in those playoff games. He lost on a double doink, and he lost really arguably again on a drop touchdown pass in against the Saints. So all that being said, I love it. He was my first one that I loved. It's just a matter of surrounding him with the right pieces in order to make him successful.
Well, Jareem also agrees with you. I think Mitch is going to surprise a lot of people this year. So it's not all one side or the other with Mitch Trubisky. And I am out there. I'm excited to see what he can do on the field, to tell you the truth. I like his potential. I like what he did in Chicago. Like Ben, you were saying, it's just time for him to start doing it here in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh has just about as tough a weather as Chicago does, so it won't be too much of a difference there. And it was funny to me, too, and you can speak to this because you actually know his wife. So you got to ask her at one point or another.
That wasn't me. That was Parker, I think.
Oh, Parker. Oh, never mind. Oh, because to me, I thought it was interesting. He went from Chicago to Buffalo to Pittsburgh. And then if you're going just weather-wise, it seems like Pittsburgh has the best.
Wow, that's
weather.
Crazy.
Oh, my gosh. Is that a wide receiver off the board?
Yes. New Orleans.
Both Ohio State wide receivers are now off of the board at pick 11. Wow.
That's higher than I saw Olave go.
Ballsy play, dude.
But
they traded up for him too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, that's ballsy to trade up for him. But I put it this way: pairing him with Michael Thomas, I think, is a very good match.
Good point, Matt.
Well, they have Callaway too. That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Problem is, who's throwing the football, Coach?
Winston.
Jameis.
Oh, I wanted Winston. He's the guy I wanted.
Alvin Kamara.
Winston was balling out last year before he got hurt.
He was.
Balling out what? Balling out? The dude was hitting check down after check down. Stop it.
When you have wide receivers like Kamara, Michael Thomas, and Olave, just get the ball in their hands. That's what they're going to ask Mitch to do this year. Get the ball in their hands.
Oh, slant boy? Oh, okay. Slant boy.
Hey.
Amir, what's up, my guys? I hope we have a good draft. Thank you very much there.
Shocker coming from Matt, both Ohio State guys. Of course, he's going to be all on both those guys. Jeez Louise, Matt. You got to hide it sometimes, dude, right? You got to hide that Ohio State love, right? You got to hide it.
Listen, in my rankings, I mean, clearly, if both Ohio State wide receivers are off the board by 11, someone else thought they were good, too. I wasn't alone.
Yeah,
granted, the Saints, I believe, do have I guarantee you, I think the Saints do have the most Ohio State players out of anyone, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Really? That's interesting.
Lions just staying with the Vikings.
Ohio State South.
You'd think it would be somebody like Cleveland or Cincinnati, which never seem to get, like, Pittsburgh usually like targets an Ohio State player every draft, it seems, like Santonio Holmes, Shazier. You know, they always seem to like be grabbing people fairly high in the draft from Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, they've had him for quite a while. It's recently they haven't really, though, to be honest with you. I mean,
outside of Cam.
Yeah, I mean, the last one I think they grabbed was I don't know. I think was Duran Grant after that. He was a 4th round pick in like 16 or something. He was a corner that didn't really make.
I'm sorry, who?
Yeah, exactly. But he was still a draft. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he was a 4th round pick that he was on the team for a year.
Nice. And we've got another question here another comment here from Miles. How is Hamilton and Davis not taken yet? We have a chance, guys. that would make me happier than grabbing a quarterback.
Especially if Malik Willis comes off right here with the Lions trading up.
Did the Lions just trade up?
Yeah, they just traded up to number 12.
Ooh.
I'm on like a 10-second delay.
Dude, this guy,
the group
see, Matt,
text,
you got to check the Matt. You have to check the private chat. You had me freaking out. You're like, hey, I got inside information. It's a lot of it, bro. Can you please drop your info in the private chat so I'm not like out here freaking out, dude? Like,
check the group chat.
It's
in our group me before anything else.
I can't check the group with all the stuff going on here. I'm trying to run back and forth between the stuff. I like being surprised. This is like Christmas.
I'll keep surprising you, Striker.
You do. Frimers.
See, don't you find that? See, hold on. So you're saying the Lions have traded up to 12. Don't you find that wild that the Minnesota Vikings are allowing the Lions, unless the Lions give up a haul? Why are the Vikings allowing Detroit to get their quarterback in the same division?
They didn't.
Why would they do that?
They didn't. They didn't take him. Do you want me to surprise
you? Then who is it?
Jameson Williams.
Yeah, no, I'm tired of waiting. I got this delay. Just give it to me.
Oh, they did J-Mo.
Yeah, Jameson Williams.
Wow.
Wow. Gosh. So now
run on wide receivers. Bob in our group text said there's going to be a run on wide receivers. Well, you got it. Back to back.
So there's no way. Like that's why I said there's no way Minnesota is allowing them to draft possibly the franchise quarterback. There's no way they're going to allow that.
This is
a lot of trading up for wide receivers, man. That's interesting.
Especially with all the
that
depth,
good
too. I mean, I knew that they were all going to get taken, just not within the first 20 picks.
Yeah.
See, you know what's crazy? The two teams that need receivers in Kansas City and Green Bay that have multiple firsts aren't the ones trading up, which I find interesting.
And Green Bay needs a receiver.
Yeah.
They're one of the bigger ones. I'm surprised they aren't making moves right now.
That's why I'm shocked. You got the teams like Detroit and New Orleans trading up to get receivers, and the teams that are competing right now in Kansas City and Green Bay that need a legit guy didn't go up and trade up and get these guys. It's crazy. That's a great pick. Lions have had a hell of a draft because what was the talk of Jameson Williams? He was going to be the first guy. He's like a transcendent guy. He's going to like face of the franchise, and they have Hutchinson that shouldn't have been there, and they got Williams now. Dude, that's a hell of a draft.
Well, I thought.
Detroit
Oh,
Lions.
never mind. Sorry. This delay is freaking me out. But it also plays into it too. Again, I mentioned that the Steelers have only drafted a receiver in the first round because they traded up for it. So that just begs the question even more. I mean, Steelers are not going to draft a receiver in the first round.
Nope.
I think at this point it's kind of safe to say that.
So 13, I feel like it has to be Kyle Hamilton. I feel like or Jordan Davis. They're going to go like best player available, and I feel
or
like
Lewis Sign as well.
Who's 13? Who's picking 13?
Houston.
13 is Houston. Yeah.
They're going to go best player available.
Kyle Hamilton and Stingley. My God, that secondary would be insane.
Jeez.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like he makes sense. They're going to take best player available.
And here's what I'm afraid of. The Ravens coming up at 14, that they're going to take Davis to be another like Haloti Nada in the freaking middle. That's my biggest fear in this draft.
Campbell.
That's my biggest fear in this draft. Yeah.
They're taking
Davis
someone on
and
defense.
Campbell.
They need D-line and secondary help.
Jeez.
There's some guys out there. I'm hoping they reach for someone like Kyler Elam. I'm hoping they reach for someone like that. Take Andrew Booth. Take Kyler Elam. Kyler Elam, I actually think.
I like Elam. I would rather them have Booth because I hate Booth. I don't think he's going to.
Eagles moved up. Jesus Christ.
They have like 8 picks. They shouldn't be taking a quarterback. Well, they could be taking a quarterback, I suppose, if they wanted to have.
This is never ending.
Dude, I hate that this is such a delay. I don't even want to watch the TV anymore.
I don't have a TV. I don't have a TV in the house today, Colton. I've got both of my TVs are outside on events today that my brother has set up at American University for their late night. So I'm doing strictly computer, and I don't need to listen or look at.
This is why we don't do mock drafts. No one can predict this. No one predicted 3 wide receivers in a row.
Right.
No one else predicted every pick from 11 through 13 being traded.
Yeah. But this is the reason why I like mock drafts, because it gets all of us into a mindset where we start to agree with what mock drafts should look like. Then all the mock drafts start to look a bit similar with the way people come off the board and start the rankings and how they go. So then on draft day, when it's completely different, because this is reality now. This isn't the people that, enjoy the draft and then like do their own research on their own. These are the people actually in it that meet people, talk to people face to face, run all the numbers, run the stop clock on their own pocket watches or whatever they call nowadays. I pull out my pocket watch and I'll take the 40s time and the 20 cone drills. That guy's awfully fast. That Olevi guy. I like him a lot. But we'll see how they go. Yeah, but that's why this is so fun to me, because it goes no way that any single draft. But my favorite draft of all time was the draft where like everybody's like Mario Williams number 1, Mario Williams number 1, and then it was that wide receiver, the running back that went to New Orleans, that really speedy wide receiver dude.
Is Reggie Bush?
Reggie Bush.
I think that you had that backwards, didn't you?
Oh, it went the other way. Yes.
Yeah, everyone's saying Reggie Bush number 1, Reggie Bush number 1.
That's right, and then Williams went 1, and then everyone's like losing their minds. Mel Kiper, literally, you saw him age 2 years when that happened. It was freaking awesome. He couldn't read. He was like,
short-circuited.
Yeah. Somebody had to hit him with a cattle prod.
So what does Philly trade ahead of Baltimore to get?
A receiver they could have gotten in the third.
Yeah, Phillies. Can they draft Jalen Rager again?
Is this Hamilton? Philly loves their safeties. I would say, I mean, this is a team that had Dawkins on their team, who is my all-time favorite player that never wore a Pittsburgh Steeler uniform. Dawkins was an absolute monster on defense. And if they still love their strong safeties as much as they loved Dawkins, this might be, in my opinion, a spot where they'd take Hamilton off the board.
Yeah, team him up with Anthony Harris, guy they picked up from Minnesota, and I believe they re-signed him as well. Team him up with Kyle Hamilton. That'd be pretty interesting. See, why are they trading in front of Baltimore here? A lot of the top receivers are gone, so I don't.
I'm thinking, they're looking at Jordan Davis.
It's Jordan Davis or Trent McDuffie. That's my two thoughts.
Dude, imagine the D-line with Hargrave and Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Good luck.
We played him this year. Shut up, Ben. God, Ben.
Hey, don't worry,
Colton. The Eagles.
Colton, the last time we played the Eagles and they sacked us 10 times in a game, we won the Super Bowl that year. It's okay.
Good call.
I remember that game. I was like, there's no way we're going to win a Super Bowl this year. That was 2008. Like Dawkins even got in on a sack. I mean, everybody was like killing us that game. It was like one of Dawkins' best games, actually, too. And it was just like, there's no way. This offensive line is trash. And then what do we get at the end of the season? Who's laughing now, offensive line? Ha ha! Big old Ben on the podium, hoisting the Lombardi trophy, rubbing it in. That was a good moment. Going back to the peeps here. Sorry, Brian Brown. Man, the rest of the league is to mess around and let Willis fall to the Steelers. We need defense. That's the way it's looking like it's starting.
Jordan Davis.
Yep. Davis is off. Hargraves and Davis. Is that what we're talking about now?
I called that.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
Yep. Great call.
Man. And they have a next pick here and after the Ravens, which are probably going to go, a secondary position.
But honestly, the Ravens were taking Davis. The Ravens would have taken Davis.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. It just updated. Sorry.
Oh, yes. Oh, wait, the Ravens.
Damn it, Jordan Davis. Rats.
But I'm telling you, we gotta thank the Eagles because the Ravens would have taken Jordan Davis. He would have definitely been the
Striker, you're talking me off the ledge. That's the only.
So that's to me like fine. Put him in the NFC. We're gonna play him once every 4 years. Oh, depending now with the way that goes.
Not twice a year.
Now we got it might be twice a year. It might be more. Who knows? If we're depending on what. Yeah, we'll see. Twice a year. Yeah.
So I'm updating my big board. I have a big board that I have in Google Doc.
Yeah.
Why the hell are there so many teams that have a very similar color of green? This like weird off-green teal looking color. The Jets, the Eagles, the Jaguars, all of this weird kind of shade of green that Google Docs does not have enough shades of.
Green. Just make them different colors, like pink. Yeah, Jets can be pink. Definitely, they definitely play like a pink team. Jaguars. Let's go with. What's that?
Like a mustard yellow, like their old Color Rush uniforms.
The old Color Rush uniforms that they never had. that was like this color,
right?
But it was like they were wearing a onesie. of this color on the field. When I turned it it was like a Thursday night, and I turned the game on. I'm like, oh, I can't watch this. And
Yeah, look like Dijon mustard.
Yeah, and I'm colorblind, and it still hurt me. It's like I can't unsee that.
Some things you can't unsee.
Okay, this is good one. Thor's in Black. As crazy as this draft has been, don't be surprised if the Steelers draft a punter or kicker. Yeah, that is funny. I do appreciate that. At least we're past that point where kickers are going in the first round. I think Janikowski was the last one and probably the last ever kicker that will be drafted in the first round. But the Raiders, you never know what those Raiders are going to do.
Well, they don't have a first-round pick, so I guess as of now, unless they trade. But
yeah. Puma saying I think we're going to get a quarterback or a cornerback or a safety now. Yeah, it's looking that way now. Now I'm hoping at this point now that they do not go Hamilton. I'm hoping that they do not go Hamilton.
I don't think they will. I think the who the hell just traded back? The Houston Texans trade back, and I think they'll snag them.
Okay.
I don't know who the Ravens go now. I mean, I think corner's really the only look unless they want to draft Davis's teammate in Devontae Wyatt.
Wide receiver?
No.
Oh, yeah. Wide receiver.
I would love if their first year, like with a new drafting team and everything, with Newsom gone, and they start screwing up like the Browns. So go wide receiver. That'd be hilarious. I'd love that.
Or do they? I mean, they also need help on the O line, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So, but I'm trying to think of who else.
Jermaine Johnson, maybe.
It could
be Penning. It could be Penning.
Penning. Yep.
The Jermaine Johnson to edge rusher, maybe.
That's right. He's still available. Oh,
yeah, I'm
God,
surprised
I would hate that.
I have him 9th overall on my board, and he's still there.
Steeler Scotty, it's bizarro draft when the Bengals don't draft in the top 10. Very good point. Rick Giddings, this is the point. Hamilton's still there. Move up and let's move up. It's just stuff we've been talking about on the podcast and the vidcast, guys. I hear you. Emil, I think we're going to have a good year. Well, we haven't gotten our draft pick yet, so let's even get more excited once that happens.
Optimism. No matter what, we're going to have a good year. I love it.
Yeah. So Robert, again, obviously being Colbert's last year, he's great at drafting wide receivers. So don't waste a pick in the first or second round. He'll get him a couple good wide receivers lower. One of them might just drop the fastest guy. Don't just draft the fastest guy like Al Davis. So we definitely hear that, man. And this seemed like the only metric that Al Davis ever cared about was 40 speed. Like the guy that we had on our team that was a first round draft pick from them.
Mike Mitchell.
No, the 3-name guy.
That's Darius Hayward back.
DHB.
Yep. Yeah,
Mike
he was drafted in top 15 because of his 40 time. And everybody's like, what? Who drafts this guy in the first round, let alone the first 5 rounds? Because he's very raw, but he was very fast. Hello, this is the Bengals fan now. Heard us talking about the Bengals, and she's here. This is Lexi.
I gotta tell you, I'm very upset, boys, with this Jordan Davis pick. I gotta tell you.
Oh, you still? Well, I'm just. You would have been more upset if it was pick 14 to the Ravens. I would.
It's
again,
not
you're
fine.
You're totally right. It just sucks because I wanted Jordan Davis.
Yes, I was with you. I'm with you. That's who I actually called. I think in the article from that we just did for everybody asking about Steeler Nation. Who did we all pick on that one? I picked Jordan Davis. You picked Jordan Davis as well, Colton. What did you pick, Ben?
I was Malik Willis.
You were Malik Willis and Matt.
That was Matt Corral.
Matt Corral, great. So you two are still on the board. We are eliminated. Colton, you and I are now eliminated. And I'm going to, and just before I invite our special guest onto the show here, I just wanted to make sure that Matt and Ben, how are you guys doing on time? I didn't know if any of you guys had other stuff you want to do tonight, if you want to jump off and come back, whatever you'd like to do.
Whatever you need, Stryker. I'm here in my war room.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna take Ben and Matt. I'm gonna give you guys a break. Thank you very much. We're gonna be coming back to you guys hard. Just keep on there, and I'll keep bringing you up and back. Okay.
Cool.
So thank you so much, guys, and I'll be talking to you shortly. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Matt. And now Colton and I are going to be hanging out here with one of my best friends that I got to meet through Steeler Nation, country music star, Steeler Nation fanatic, Justin Fabus. Justin, how are you doing, my friend? Oh, I think it's your sound. Is your sound on? Got to check your sound. Your mic is. Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes, we got you.
It's good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
what is up, man?
Anytime, man. What's going on in your life right now? How's the you've been on tour lately? Have you had any big shows coming up lately?
Yeah, I just got done doing a show with Trace Adkins and jumped on his tour and just did a show in Ohio. And when I announced that I was originally from Pittsburgh, I got a lot of boos. And there was also a lot of Pittsburgh people there. So I got a lot of, it's funny, like afterwards, I tried to do meet and greets and stuff. And I'm, like meeting people and they're like, hey, you're awesome. You did a great job, but go Browns. And that's like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, right. Yeah, it comes with it. So it comes with the territory. But so I'm going to do a couple more dates with him. And
nice.
So things have been so far so good. So
great. And Steeler Nation, now's your chance. If you have a question for Justin Fabus, you put it in the chat box. You have your chance to talk to him directly. And Justin, I want to know specifically, who did you want the most today at pick number 20, and who do you think the Steelers are actually going to be getting?
My guess is Kenny Pickett. I know that might be not like a popular opinion. But the way that things are falling, I think we're going to go with the quarterback. I would be surprised if they didn't. So I know that we obviously need some defensive tools. So, maybe another wide receiver, but we'll see. Who knows? This draft is so crazy. I mean, everybody with the trading and everything like that. I mean, who knows? So it's exciting though. I will say this. I think this year's draft has been very exciting so far. Yeah,
it's been absolutely crazy. Go ahead, Colton.
Very bad news. Kyle Hamilton is a Baltimore Raven.
That's what I was afraid of.
I can't believe Houston would trade back to allow Baltimore to get him.
Well, to tell you the truth, though, I still think they would have taken Davis over Hamilton. I really do. I think that he was a higher need for Pittsburgh or for Ravens to play against the teams that are now a little bit more running driven within our own division, like Cleveland and ourselves, which we're strictly going to a rushing attack and Najee Harris offense this upcoming season. So to me, that would have been the best pickup for them to be able to kind of counteract what we're doing on offense. But Hamilton is just the value was too there. Like I'm saying, he's the number one prospect on NFL.com. He went pick 14. Nobody traded up for him. He fell to 14.
Just like the same thing with Derwin James. Derwin James was a top prospect in his draft, slowed all the way back, and the Chargers we kind of have to take him, and they took him. So, and I think it's the same area. Yeah. Kyle Hamilton went 15. I think Derwin James was 14, 15, if I'm not mistaken. So that's kind of stinks.
Here we go. Striker, the last kicker was early in 2005. Mike Nugent, kicker in the second round, 47th overall. The Nuge to the Jets. Well, that's the Jets. We'd expect the Jets to pick a kicker in the second round, or us to pick a punter in the fourth, trade up to pick a punter in the fourth. I think that's what we did with Sepulveda that one year. But everybody's like, look at him tackle. He had that one tackle where he slobber knocked the one guy and knocked the ball out.
Here's a good question for both of you. Which coverage are you watching? I know there's three, the NFL Network, ESPN, and I think ABC has it.
Yeah.
Where are you guys watching? I know that's kind of like a big question that I've been seeing a lot. Like, which coverage are you choosing?
Well, hopefully people are choosing the Steeler Nation draft, Steeler Nation draft show right here. Yeah. I don't have any TV on at all. I told people earlier, both of my TVs are out of my house on video game events tonight. So we had a double book up. So I'm like, I am just strictly on NFL.com watching the ticker come through.
Oh, nice.
Me, I am on ESPN, and my speedier thing was Matt. Matt was out here busting these picks out before they even got announced.
Right.
So that was my guy. So that and Steeler Nation.
I heard Warren Dickerson's real good at that. I heard he has the inside knowledge. He tweets about a couple minutes before the pick too. So
who is that?
Doran Dickerson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, supposedly he's got the inside scoop. So
Yeah, my TV's delayed. They're now showing Kyle Hamilton on the phone with Baltimore up. So that is that doesn't feel great. That's not the best feeling right now with their safeties now. Kyle Hamilton's a really good football player, man. Gosh darn it.
Nice. Miles is saying he always smiles when Justin likes my tweets. So I know we all have some Steeler love there on Twitter. That is always the case.
Keep tweeting. I'll see him and I'll like him and retweet him. So I'm a big Twitter guy. That's my favorite platform. So
awesome.
Big Twitter guy, yeah.
Nice, yeah. And unfortunately, everything went sideways on me today. I was trying to get you some more information, maybe trying to do a promo or something like that. And I was on the field. I got to at least do a promo on the field at in Washington before I left and got a flat tire, essentially making my right hand turn to just before I hit in the highway. And I was like, crap. One of those days.
Right.
Sometimes
could always be worse, though, right? Could always be worse.
It's a country music song in the making. I'm telling you. It's like I was on my way to the Steeler draft party and I got a flat tire on. Got to start at 7:30. No, I'm not. It's going to be 8:30 today. And I can, of course, my country music chops aren't as good as yours.
You sound great.
But I did have some classical training, and I know country music stars and singers in general. You know how to sing. You know how to use your diaphragm. You're always
at least, yeah.
Right. That's how it sounds. Like you're really controlling that tone when you're singing. And
right.
That's why you don't have auto-tune too much in country music as well.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that crap, but
crazy thing about auto-tune, when you're singing on pitch, it doesn't work at all.
Right, yeah, it sounds terrible.
Yeah. It sounds just normal.
Yeah.
You have to intentionally sing off key to get it to do cool stuff.
Right. I know
Justin,
you want.
What do you watch? Justin, what do you watch? You never answer. What do you watch?
Yeah.
I am, of course, watching the Steeler Nation, but I'm also watching ESPN. So
yeah, that's what I'm watching.
I get to stay old school. ESPN. Kuiper's the man. So every year you kind of look at what his hair is doing. It's always different.
And Miles, with another question for you here, Justin. What made you decide that you wanted to be a country music singer?
That's a good question. I grew up on all types of music. I'm a big fan of all different genres, but I just gravitated more towards country when it came to the songwriting. I get the dumb question a lot of how are you a country singer? You're from Pittsburgh. You're from the city.
Right.
Stupid crap. But to be honest with you, it doesn't get more blue collar than country music, and it doesn't get more blue collar than the city of Pittsburgh. So I write blue collar songs for blue collar people. So, that's kind of why I fell in love with country music. So
right.
I'm never going to write songs about being on a farm or driving a tractor. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I just didn't, I was too busy walking the streets of Dormont and, downtown Pittsburgh, unfortunately there aren't farms or tractors around there. So, I think it would be a little bit, people would know they'd smell bullshit. If I started singing those kind of songs. So,
right. So that's why you sing from the heart, and that's the best part about country music. It's you can be from anywhere. You can be from other countries. There's people from other countries that are doing country music and doing it really well. Yeah,
the word genre, it's pretty lofty these days. So
yeah. Michael Dermott's watching ESPN. What do you have to say there, Colton?
Jermaine Johnson is the Texans' pick, the rusher from Florida State, and also Baltimore has traded Hollywood Brown to the Arizona Cardinals.
For what? A box of Skittles?
He's not good, so I'm seeing what happens here.
A first-round draft pick, Antonio Brown's cousin, going to Pittsburgh West in the Cardinals, and Kyler Murray getting to throw to that kid. Hollywood Brown. Man, those Baltimore, even when Baltimore, that's probably their best drafted wide receiver in a while. And they still get rid of him. It's something that I didn't even hear the writing on the wall. I live in the Baltimore area. I didn't hear anything on Baltimore local news radio at all stating that there was even an issue with Hollywood Brown or that they were even looking to deal with him. Or none of the fans ever said there was a problem with it. So this comes as an actual surprise to see this kind of deal happening on draft day. Here we go, Rad Rob. Hey, all. Tuitt was second rounder, so Steelers probably view defensive end as a day 2 pick.
They got another first-round draft pick for Hollywood. Dude, how does that even happen? Are you
kidding me?
They traded Hollywood Brown and pick number 100 to Arizona for pick number 23. Dude, he's not worth a first-round pick.
Wow.
Dude, what is going on? That is nonsense. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
That's nonsense right there.
So defensive end of the first is more important than wide receiver, quarterback, unless it's Kenny Pickett. There's another guy wanting Kenny Pickett along with you here, Justin. That's Rad Rob.
I feel like we're going to get him. We'll see. Even though I think Trubisky is a great pickup, I think he's going to do great things. I think my dog could play better quarterback than Mason Rudolph. But, hey, that might just be my opinion.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And Rad Rob's saying thinnest depth is at running back, left tackle, defensive line, and wide receiver. That would be the slot wide receiver, honestly. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Your thoughts? I was just going through Twitter real quick. I haven't been on it since the draft. Gary Dulac tweeted out 2 hours ago, name to keep in mind for Pittsburgh at 20 is the kid from Utah, the middle linebacker. I just forgot his name all of a sudden. I'm an idiot. Hold on. Let me get his name again. I don't know why I'm blanking on it.
I'll tell you what, though. Kenyon Green is a big dude. Holy hell.
Devin Lloyd. That's the name I'm looking for. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on middle linebacker for the Steelers at 20? I said it would be an option.
Right.
You got Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd there out of Utah, and then Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. Your thoughts with that? Because, again, you have Devin Bush and Miles Jack. What are your thoughts on that, both of you? Because that's kind of another idea that could happen.
Go with you first, Justin.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, I think anytime we can make the defense stronger, I think there's other areas that we need better, to me, in my opinion. But It's not a terrible idea.
I'm with you, too. Like, this is the point, too, where we were talking about we saw the way this is going. This has been very wide receiver heavy. So
you can add another one. Jahan Dotson to Washington.
Now there's people that are saying Dotson could have been a second-round pickup. And is that the guy out of Penn State?
That is correct. He has gone to the Commanders.
Wow, that is incredible. But yeah, so they pick up so fortunately at their draft party, which ended at 10 o'clock tonight, they were able to watch their first pick come off the board. They did. They went a little tension there for the draft party.
You said the draft party ended at 10?
It ended at 10 because they're drafting at 11.
How do you end it right after your pick? I feel like it'd be like lit right after your pick. Like, let's go.
Exactly. Well, that's why they were expecting to draft at 11. They traded back to 16.
Oh yeah.
So interesting enough that it still happened because we're going down there because everything's supposed to shut down at 10 o'clock. So they're geeked walking out of the stadium right now. We got Dotson. But yeah, for me too, like it looks like this is going to be the top interior lineman or linebacker dropping to us if it comes to that situation. And that's something you seriously do have to consider, even though you have Miles Jack and you have Bush, their man in the middle. I mean, it looks like we may not be picking up Bush's fifth-year option. There's been talk about that not happening. So it may be smart if they wanted to go in a different direction. If they think Bush is pretty much ending his days in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I like Devin Bush a lot. I think watching his tape with him working out, the workout videos, dude, I think he's going to have a huge season teamed up with Miles Jack on the inside. I think those guys are going to absolutely tear it up this season, and I'm really looking forward to it. And again, you don't love him. You don't have to pick up the fifth-year option. You can always re-sign him next season. You can tag him, whatever it may be. So I'm okay with them not picking up the option if they don't trust to see what he does this year, kind of give him some motivation to get back to where he was. So a lot of Steeler fans giving him some slack, I think, needs to kind of pump the brakes because we forget how good he was year one and year two before he blew out his knee. Then all of a sudden we got on his case this season. Pump the brakes, see what he does this season, go from there. He had he's a smaller guy, and the fact that the offensive lines for the other team were able to get to the second level so easily, I think made it a lot more difficult for him to shed off some tackles where it looks like he's kind of put some muscle on so far.
Yeah.
We'll see what he looks like this season, another full year off of an ACL where, again, he didn't have time to put any muscle on. He was rehabbing a blown knee in his second season. So, we'll pump the brakes on Devin Bush. We'll see what he does. But, again, I kind of mentioned that linebacker could also be the play because Nakobe Dean's a pretty damn good football player, and so is Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, good point. Miles also saying, too, I don't see it. My boy Miles Jack is going to be a beast and make Devin Bush better as well.
Yes, sir.
But to me, the argument, too, is like that's what we were expecting last year when we picked up the other Jacksonville Jaguar inside linebacker in Joe Schobert. And that just didn't pan out. Oddly enough, though, Miles Jack does not have the Pro Bowls, like Schobert at least had a Pro Bowl. So how are you talking me off of the ledge thinking this is just going to be more of the same, picking up another Jacksonville Jaguar inside linebacker? How different is Miles Jack from Joe Schobert?
He's faster. He's more explosive, can cover tight ends better than Joe could. So that's kind of where I'm at on it. Yeah. I think he's a pretty damn good football player. So I'm excited to see him. I know a lot of Steeler Nation was really pumped to see him.
Nice. And do you have any pets too, Justin? I've got my cat here trying to mess up my microphone since he's a Cincinnati Bengals fan.
Yeah, my dog is sleeping right next to me. She's a French bulldog, so she likes to sleep a lot.
Oh, you got a bougie?
I do, yeah. She wears a diaper too. She wears a diaper. She's incontinent. She wears a diaper. So. I'm not rocking and rolling. I'm putting on diapers and wiping ass. So. Rock and roll.
Just like a good fur daddy.
Yeah, exactly. So, but
nice. I've got to take a phone call here because I've got a business phone call going on. I'm going to let you guys hear. We're going to have Matt in here soon.
Oh, that's wild if that's true, Justin. My buddy's telling me A.J. Brown to the Eagles.
Real?
Dude, no way. Oh, my God, it is. A.J. Brown to the Eagles. Dude, what is going on? Dude, oh, my Lanta.
You're like way ahead of the ESPN stuff I'm watching because they're
it's Twitter. It's Twitter. I'm telling you, Twitter's the way. Dude,
they haven't even announced the Chargers pick at 17 yet.
Dude,
so
what is going on here? See, I'm not even out here looking. I don't even know what the Chargers picked A.J. Brown to the Eagles. Dude, that is wild.
So if the Saints don't go with the quarterback, we literally have our choice of anybody.
Dude, I don't want a quarterback, Justin. I'm going to be.
I'm happy with Trubisky. I'm not going to lie, but I just have a feeling that they're going to go with one. I really do. But I'd be happy if we didn't. That's
where I'm at, man. Like all these teams that need quarterbacks, they're not taking them. What is that telling you? They want next year's class. This class isn't that good. Again, if you were to trade back up in the first round, like. You draft someone at 20, whether that is Trent McDuffie, because it's kind of looking – the Chargers, no way the Chargers take a corner here. They signed J.C. Jackson. They picked up Asante Samuel Jr. I still believe they have Chris Harris. There's no shot the Chargers – the pick's coming in here now for the Chargers. There's no shot they go corner here. So then you have Philadelphia at 18. I don't know if Philly traded that pick with the Titans. I don't know. I haven't really checked on that. It just announced that was the trade with A.J. Brown. So I don't know if that was – what they got. Zion Johnson. There was no way they were going secondary. So Trent McDuffie might be the play for Pittsburgh. He's kind of falling that way. Could be the play. I would love Trent McDuffie out of Washington. I do not want a quarterback, man. I love Malik Willis. He's my favorite out of all the quarterbacks. I'm not. If the Steelers trade back up like they did with Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, I'd be cool with that. Like if the Steelers trade back up to the back end in the first, whatever, and he's there, cool. I don't want him at 20, and they're going to take him at 20. I'm very, very scared, and they're going to do it. And again, I'm going to fully support the guy. Yeah, this pick is going to the Titans. So I wonder what the Titans do here. They have traded that pick with Philly. So Philly traded a first-round pick. By the way, Stryker, while you stepped away, A.J. Brown was traded from the Tennessee Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles.
A.J. Brown?
Correct, wide receiver from Titans.
Wow. So 2 Brown wide receivers have just moved. Look out, Antonio. You're going somewhere today. Oh, you're a free agent, so you can go wherever you want.
Dave's saying Pickett, not well. Oh, dude, I'd be more upset if it was Kenny Pickett.
Telling you,
more upset if it's Kenny Pickett.
I think we're going to go with Pickett. I really do. I think
so you'd prefer Kenny Pickett over Malik Willis?
It's a wash for me. I just think they're going to go with Pickett. I just what I've heard and what I'm feeling. But I think if we get either one, I think they're both great. They could be great quarterbacks. But like I said, if we don't go with a quarterback, I'm happy with Trubisky. I really am. I thought he was. Dude,
he's young. Like I said before you jumped on here, and again, appreciate you for jumping in here. Like I said, there's no way the Steelers have been passing the baton all these years with Ben. How many times have we heard from the media and the talking heads, when are the Steelers ever going to replace Ben? Why all of a sudden, because Ben retires, we have to address it now? No thanks. It's not a good class. And again, no shots at Kenny Pickett. I know he's a local guy there in Pittsburgh. I'm not from Pittsburgh. I'm from Jersey, where he's from. Sure. And I'm not interested, man. I look at the AFC. You have Deshaun Watson now in Cleveland, who's got a better roster than he was in Houston. Justin Herbert and the Chargers look freaking locked and loaded for the next 6-7 years till his contract, when he gets paid, hits. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow in the division, Lamar Jackson, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. The AFC's loaded with really good quarterbacks. I'm not saying good quarterbacks. Elite, the top tier quarterbacks in the AFC alone. The Steelers need special. If the Steelers were in the NFC, I'd be cool with Kenny Pickett. He's I wouldn't say game manager, but he's not going to make mistakes. He's pro ready. I'm cool with that. But the Steelers are in an absolutely loaded AFC, and the problem is these quarterbacks are young. They're not old. This isn't Brady, Ben, Manning, and Rivers on their way out the door. These guys are all young and going to be here for the next 8+ years. The Steelers need special, and the only guy I see possibly being special, and that's not right out of the gate, it's Malik Willis. Malik Willis pops everything. He's got the arm. Right. He's got the legs. Everything's there.
He's got a monster. He's got a monster arm. I mean, he really does. Yeah. So the Titans are on the clock. They already picked, though, right?
Yeah, the pick's in. It's what do we have here? I'm not sure what they picked.
They didn't announce it yet, but you saw it on your end, right?
Yes, yeah, they're up. This is that trade. This is the AJ Brown. This was supposed to be the Eagles. It's now the Titans because AJ Brown was traded for a first-round pick with Philly.
Okay, and they didn't announce it yet.
No, not yet.
Is it Trey Burks?
Yeah, it could be the kid out of Arkansas. I'm asking the guys in the Steer Nation chat. These guys are always a freaking ahead, it feels like. So I'm trying to see what the heck they got.
And Trey Burks.
At this rate, I'm not even watching the draft. The guys at Steer Nation right here.
I'm getting a text saying Trey Burks, but I don't know.
Could be. They have to go receiver here. There's no way they don't go receiver here because who are the receivers then?
Right.
They literally have no receivers. So there's it is Burks. Someone Rick here in our comments says it is Burke from Arkansas. If that is the case, I'm gonna trust you on this one, Rick. I'm gonna take you on this one, Rick. So Matt, that is right, dude. I forgot Robert Woods. That's a good call. They still need another receiver, though, Matt. They still do need another receiver. That is a good call. And it looks like they do go another receiver. It is Burke. Treyon Burke from Arkansas looks to be the pick here for the Titans. So then you have New Orleans, then the Steelers.
Yeah.
McDuffie, dude. McDuffie, he's there.
You think the Saints will take a quarterback?
They're another team. Dude, imagine them, Pittsburgh sitting there like the Steelers. Again, the Steelers might be thinking the opposite of what I'm thinking. They've kind of shown they've been in love with Malik Willis. The Titans right underneath, or the Saints right underneath their nose at 19. Thank you, Kenny Pick or Malik Willis. That'd be wild. That'd be a crazy turn of events.
Right. So the Eagles get Brown. The Titans get what? 2 draft picks? Is that what it was? For that trade?
Yeah, it's 18 and a 3rd round pick. It's the pick that they just made. And what's it called? Wow. They already gave him an extension. 4 years, $100 million for AJ Brown. Eagles already paid him already. That's cool. Wow. How does that happen? How does the trade just happen now and the guys already have a new contract done already?
Wait, 4 years, $100 million?
4 years, $100 million for AJ Brown. Yes, sir.
That's $25 million a year.
That dude, you could thank Jacksonville. This is Jacksonville's fault. The wide receivers are getting paid. You can blame Jacksonville. Seriously.
That's why I was trying to lock down freaking DJ to 18 mil a season. Back when he said 16 at the beginning of the year, I'm like, lock him down. Now he said 8, and then he said 18 more recently. Now he's going to be like 22. It just keeps going up. My gosh.
See, that makes it tough.
You think
I would easily have given him 18. What was that, Justin? I'm sorry.
You think the Steelers could go safety?
I don't think here. Hamilton's gone. I don't think they go safety here. No way.
I'm going to bring Matt back onto the show. We're getting pretty close to the Steelers drafting, and guys, I want to get your opinions, obviously, throughout the process when the Steelers pick up. So Matt's rejoining the group here with Justin Fabus, with Colton Gesser, and with myself. Ben looks like he's off the air right now, but as soon as he comes back, there, he heard me. There you go. Ben's coming too. Oh, we got a 5-shot.
I was waiting on standby here. I didn't want to see you guys would have me walking around or whatever.
Oh no, that's fine. It's not on the air. It's down in the. I can be the only one that sees it since it's in my little box at the bottom, but I'm not always
good
there. No, it's all good.
See, I don't know if you guys are seeing this stuff in the group chat. I know, Striker, you got a lot going on. Ben and Matt, I don't know if you just saw what Bill put in there. I can't take what Bill just put in there. I'm not trading Deontay Johnson for a first-round pick. No, I'm not doing that. But
Hold on. It depended on the first-round pick. Like if the Titans said, hey, or if the Eagles said, hey, I'll give you 18 for Deontay Johnson. Oh,
right.
Now, granted, there's no one available that I would want right now. I mean, I didn't want Treylon Burks.
At this point, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, I didn't want Treylon Burks. If Olave was on the board or Williams or someone like that, sure. But I guess I wouldn't at this point just because I don't want Burks.
So you two just joined in here. The Saints are on the clock. The Saints have kind of been rumored to a quarterback possibly. How wild would it be if they take Malik Willis right one pick before the Steelers? And I don't know what the Steelers are doing. In my head, I don't want it. Everyone knows this. I don't want a quarterback. But if the Steelers are thinking Malik Willis at 20, the Saints are at 19 and take Malik Willis. How wild of a turn would that be for the Steelers? Do you see the Steelers panicking and trading back? Same token, McDuffie would be there.
I'll say Trent McDuffie. I heard you say Trent McDuffie. I'm agreeing with you. He's still. I can't believe. I mean, obviously, people know more than we do, but yeah, and Jermaine Johnson, Matt, you're exactly right.
I actually got to go Trent McDuffie. We did a draft within all of the podcasters on the on one of the networks that I'm involved with the Philly broadcast. They always bring everybody in, somebody from each team, and we did a mock draft just the way it fell. You know, Malik Willis was off the board. Hamilton was off the board. Davis is off the board. So I went with McDuffie because McDuffie was there. So that was at least my pick on that portion of a mock draft. But yeah, honestly, it's either going to be Duffy or it's going to be a quarterback. It looks like.
It's just, oh gosh! And as we get closer and closer, it's just ugh.
Ben, I'm shaking in my toes.
Why am I nervous?
I don't know what to do here because if they take quarterback, like I've said it, if it's Willis at 20 where they didn't move up, I'd be like okay with it, even though like inside I'm still gonna hate it. What do you think the Saints do here? Like the Saints are kind of like they have a lot of moving pieces. What do you think the Saints do here?
I would guess quarterback, quite honestly.
Yeah,
I mean
quarterback. I mean, do they need a linebacker? Devin Lloyd's still there. Do they need a center? Linderbaum.
And I think N'Kobe Dean is
they
still
have
there,
Cesar
right?
Ruiz though. Yeah. They already have Cesar Ruiz that could play center and guard.
Okay, well they don't need center, so I just didn't remember who they got here.
Oh gosh, guys,
Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher. I mean,
yeah, but they already have what's his name? They have the kid they draft Davenport, and they have Cam Johnson already.
Yeah, I mean they have people, but
it doesn't hurt to get another one.
Yeah, I just don't know. That's why I'm just throwing people out here because he's the highest rated player I have left.
So, boys, dude, I can't believe Hollywood Brown got a first-round pick. Like, how does that happen? He's not good. Like, and why does Arizona need more weapons? Is AJ Green a free agent?
Well, no, he re-signed with the Cardinals, but I'm
they
guessing
have
that Marquise
Rondale Moore
Brown
already, or whoever the other receiver is.
Yeah, I'm guessing that Marquise Brown is coming in to take the place of like Christian Kirk.
Dude, that's so stupid.
To trade a first rounder for him, I mean, that's a little bit more than just a rotational guy. You're not going to play a 4 receiver set every single down. necessarily.
Saints are taking Penning.
Really?
Really?
Wow.
That's what I
Oh
said.
God! Oh God! I don't
Penning!
boys, I can't do this, boys. I can't.
We were so off.
Can't
Thought
do
from
this,
Black
boys.
46 minutes ago, Pittsburgh Mayor Ed Gainey tweeted that he wants to bring the NFL draft to Pittsburgh. That would be great.
Oh God, boys, we're on the clock, boys.
We're on the clock!
Woo!
Please, Trent McDuffie, please. Oh my Lord, please take Trent McDuffie.
The thing is, we have to keep in mind is that there's a lot of players that are around now that we thought were not going to be there. So
Right.
it's my half glass full is that I'm going to be happy wherever they go, assuming it's not like a Sam Howell, something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's still a lot of talent at
That's
this
my
part in the
point,
draft.
Ben. This is my point. They can do a Ravens thing. If the Steelers want to trade back late first round to get Willis, if they truly think that's their guy, do it. McDuffie, bro. Please take Trent McDuffie. Please, my God. Bro, him, Witherspoon, Wallace, and Sutton, hell yes. I'm all for it. Please. You can move Sutton inside. Dude, please.
All right, let's all pick who we think they're taking. Stryker, you go first.
Right now, it looks like it's going to be Malik. I mean, I want McDuffie, but writing's on the wall, Malik.
I think Malik. It goes against my gut and what I want, but I think Malik Willis.
I'm gonna go with Kenny Pickett.
Please, yeah, Raymond's with you there, too. Kenny Pickett.
I'm wetting my pants. That's what I'm doing.
So, Matt, all I ask, don't spoil this one. I'm flipping my phone. I actually don't want to be spoiled on this one. Please
Great.
do not.
Don't want to be spoiled. Oh God, how am I supposed to do that? Everyone's gonna see it, but you and Stryker.
Well,
What are we talking about?
Yeah,
Stryker
I-
can't see it.
if you just-
Justin's on with me. He's on the delay with ESPN like me, and it's just you and Ben. So both of you shut your trap.
Yeah,
Don't
ESPN's
you spoil
real delayed. ESPN's real delayed compared to everybody
Don't
else.
you freaking spoil it, boys. All right. Don't you do it. I'm going to jump through this screen. I'm going to fight both of you. Shut your traps. I'm enjoying this pick or I'm hating it. It's all right. Relax.
Well, right now, Trevor Penning just came off on my screen. So
Me too. That's where I'm at.
I don't think they want to wait that long. All of Steeler Nation here. We can go just on the thread here on Steeler Nation. Steeler Scotty's saying Linderbaum. He'd like Linderbaum here at this spot. That would be a center.
But there's no need. I don't think there's a need for a center at this point where the Steelers are. I mean, with Mason Cole and Kendrick Greendale are just stocking it out. I mean, that's what you want going into camp. So I don't see Linderbaum really.
I know who it
being
is
at this point.
Shut up, Matt.
Matt is
so
the canary in
his
the coal
initials.
mine.
Just say his initials.
Oh, yes.
Really.
I'm going to jump through the screen if you
Hey,
see
Matt,
it.
do you want to say his position?
No, it's going to give it away.
I'll give it away too.
At that
Oh,
rate,
it will.
dang it.
And then it might be something good because there's a lot of quarterbacks available.
I'm gonna stay quiet until someone else sees it.
Bro, I'm going to fight you.
Did we just trade back? Did we just trade back?
Oh, I wish. I mean, trade back was always my number one choice, but that
You
was
said I wish. Oh, dude. You said I wish. You might have given something away I don't want you to do, Matt.
no trade back was always my number one choice here because of how deep
All
this.
right.
Yeah.
Unless
Get more
someone like Kyle
picks.
Hamilton was there.
Yeah,
But
right.
he's not
Yeah.
there, so
Ben knows too. Ben, shut your face, dude. I don't know why you guys all look and cheat. I don't know why you don't just enjoy the
I
pick.
just don't know why you take a kicker at 20th overall.
Jared,
Yeah.
Bill said that in the group.
Let's make some bets. We should make a bet who's getting who.
All right, Matt's not allowed to bet though. Matt's not allowed to bet because we're just donating money.
We already talked about who we thought it was going to be. So you thought Pickett, I thought Willis. Who did you think, Colton? Were you saying McDuffie? Yep.
Please,
Which I hope.
McDuffie.
Which I
Oh,
hope.
we gotta wait after commercial, Justin. This is nonsense.
Did we go to commercial on a Pittsburgh Steeler pick? Nothing is more Pittsburgh Steelers than going to commercial
Yo, if
on a
it's in that
Pittsburgh
private
Steelers.
chat, I'm going to click on the private chat. I hope it's not there, Matt.
And guys, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to go with Steeler Nation. Steeler Nation's going to break it in the comments section.
Oh, Colton. Oh, buddy. Just open another beer.
Guys, name centers.
Just drink, man.
Yes.
Malik Willis.
Miles, it would be the greatest underrated move. We're going to wait. Oh, they are showing Pickett waiting.
No way.
Justin! Justin!
Bro. What I tell you, the dog is excited.
There you go, Justin.
Is it actually picking?
That's what they're saying on the Steeler Nation threads, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Well, Twitter's not working.
What is wrong with the Steelers, bro?
Kenny Heisman, baby. Let's go.
He's not the guy.
Oh, let's go. Bring it back to Heinz Field.
So finally, we may have just had a draft where the Steelers finally did not pass on the Miami Dolphins quarterback in the first round. Kenny Pickett looks like he might be the newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I love it.
Crazy.
So as soon as we get verification, as soon as it's on all the boards, does everybody have a drink of choice, whether it's alcoholic, non-alcoholic?
Yeah, I'm drinking bleach. Bleach is funny. Bro,
Hold on.
Dude, what is wrong with the Steelers, bro? He's not the guy. I can't wait to remind Steeler Nation in freaking 2 years, this guy's not touching the freaking field. Bro, oh my God, he's not that good. He's not that good. Oh my, I'm going to be pissed. I might have to step away.
You are pissed. You're not going to be pissed.
This should be good times. I'm going to be fuming. I might have to step with, dude. He's not good. He's not going to be special. He's going to be Trubisky. We all say Trubisky's not that. He's
small hands.
Oh my God.
It's not the size, it's how you use it.
What, bro? It's worse than Willis. It's worse.
Hey, Justin, high five. High five. my small hands.
Right there. High five.
High five.
Called it all along.
Michael Scott Joyner, we're getting the reactions here. Robert, I'm chugging whiskey. Miles, don't know if I can continue.
Oh my.
He's not. He's a backup this year. They're definitely not going to start tonight. With us tonight,
bro. He's not starting, bro. He's not starting any time. He's not that good. I can't wait to remind everyone this kid is not that good.
Well,
holy crap, I'm actually pissed. I'm actually very pissed.
Can't wear number 8.
I'm very pissed. Dude, this is stupid.
Tell Tommy Maddox he can't wear number 8 anymore.
Oh, there we go. Didn't they retire number 8 after Tommy Maddox?
I would hope so.
Right? Oh, that would be a good point. 8, because he wore 8 for Pitt, right? So now he can wear.
I'm assuming he would keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, 8 on the Steelers.
Oh gosh, what a great story for the kid. Goes to school in Pittsburgh, dukes it out, leads into their first 12-win season in how long?
Right.
You know, the ACC championship comes back, and he's going to duke it out for the starting spot. Oh, love it. I love it, Colton. Colton, come off the ledge, buddy. Just give me time. I did it. I did it with Mitch. Come on.
The tweet is going on. The tweet is happening. I'm not happy.
Miles, it could have been Skye Moore. I would have taken him over Kenny. See, Skye was a guy I was hoping to get in the second round.
He'll be there tomorrow. Which
whether he's going early or before us, yeah.
Yeah, Steelers usually draft a receiver in the second anyway.
Right now.
Right. That's the value. But, yeah, with that big run on receivers, there's no way we are going receiver with the first pick. All right, guys, I'm going to take everybody's personal takes and spotlight you for your thoughts. Is this finally official yet? It's not on my board yet.
They're announcing it like right now.
It's on my TV, and I want to throw something at the TV. I'm actually fuming, dude. If it was Willis, I would have been slightly pissed. I'm extremely pissed. I'm not happy whatsoever. Matt has a look of disappointment on his face. I feel like me and Matt are kind of similar on this. Matt, tell me I'm wrong. Am I the only guy who's like actually pissed inside, or like you seem disappointed?
I was mad. Now I'm disappointed. No.
It's gonna
be a long weekend,
pick, dude.
It's gonna be a long weekend. That's all.
He would have been there day 2.
I had him as the 45th ranked prospect on my board. Let's put it that way. Oh the 4th ranked quarterback.
I'm fuming.
I'm going to just keep running the Steeler Nation comments coming in, guys. We're here. This is your show. Of course, Robert's more pro. Kenny Pickett than a lot of people are. First quarterback off the board. Honestly, though, guys, and I want to state this. We were talking about this draft before the combine, before any of this stuff like before we even really got into the quarterbacks, there was a consensus that Kenny Pickett was the number one quarterback in this draft at one point this year. Now, at this point, somebody's got their TV up a little loud. If you can either like mute yourself or turn the TV down a bit, that would be good. But that is the most interesting aspect to me. The Steelers obviously had him rated extremely high on their charts. They got their pick of the litter here. They interviewed all 5 quarterbacks. They had all 5 quarterbacks into the facility. And they went with the one that shares the locker room in their stadium. That is an amazing aspect to me. And something that at least should be noted when they're talking about Kenny Pickett staying in Pittsburgh to be a professional after being.
Wow, I'm glad Steelers had the love pick. I'm glad we had the heartwarming pick. I'm so glad the Steelers picked with their heart, not with their mind. I'm very glad. I can't wait to remind everyone.
Who said anything about heart? I wasn't saying anything about heart.
This is a hard pick. This is he's a Pittsburgh guy. Let's keep him in Pittsburgh. Awful pick. Dude, I'm fuming. I am pissed. Pissed.
Well, I'm sorry to hear. So I am going to congratulate him to the team.
It just gets worse.
If you want to take a break here for a second, I completely understand, Colton.
No, I'm good, Coach. Why does it get worse, Matt? What do you got for me?
Patriots select McDuffie.
Awesome. So they go from J.C. Jackson to Trent McDuffie. God, I love Pittsburgh. Woo! I can't wait to remind Steeler fans of this nonsense in 2 years when this guy has not touched the football field because he's not that good. Just like Jordan Love, not touching the field, dude. Please, someone else could talk because I'm going to just keep going.
All right, we are going to have someone else talk because I'm going to have someone else from Steeler Nation onto the show here. Suhaib, thank you very much. Oh, you're very loud. You've got something really loud going on right there to turn down in the background or whatever's going on, and I'll have you right back on because that completely blew out our speakers. So are you ready? You give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Great, we got it. Suhaib back here and there. That's much better, Suhaib. How are you doing?
All right. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good. I'm going to edit your mic settings here while we're talking. You're just a bit hot, but I can adjust it on our end. What are your thoughts on the Kenny Pickett pickup?
He was my guy heading into the draft. I'm fine with it. I kind of agree with Colton. They had other positions of needs, but getting their future quarterback in the draft, I'm not complaining.
Oh, their future backup. Their future backup.
No,
they already got one.
No, man. I think he can be a really solid start in the NFL.
So
I'll gladly bite the bullet. I'll gladly bite the bullet in a few years, but there's no way.
So did you punch the wall yet, Colton? As you said you would if they went QB?
I've come pretty darn close. So I'm delayed here. The guys kind of spoiled it for me because it wasn't Willis. They're like, you're just might as well start drinking even more. Yeah.
All right, we're going to mute Colton here for a little bit, and we're going to talk about Kenny Pickett. I know how you feel, Colton. Everyone knows how you feel. I want to go to Justin Fabus. Justin, you won the draft today. You are always team Kenny Pickett. So I want to talk to you personally. How do you feel about this pickup? I mean, don't let Colton drag you down. How excited are you about getting your guy and having Kenny Pickett staying here in Pittsburgh?
I'm excited about it. I think it's a great pick. I know Colton's upset about it, but I will say this. There was a lot of people that said the same thing about, it's a terrible pick when we picked up Ben Roethlisberger. A lot of people said the same damn thing, and he came in and smoked everybody. So I will say that, and the Steelers always go with their heart. I mean, they always pick that way. So I'm not surprised by this pick. I think they're still being haunted by passing on Dan Marino. I think that maybe played into this. I'm happy about the pick. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be a great football player, and I'm excited to see him play. I think he, like I said, people were saying the same thing about Roethlisberger when we picked him and said it was a bad pick, and I'm excited to see the black and gold with the number 8 at a quarterback. I love Tommy Maddox, and let's go. Kenny Pickett and a big number 8. He's going to kill it.
Perfect, man. That's great. Thank you so much, at least, for letting us know your exact reasonings, because we've got to start being a little bit positive eventually. Maybe not this week, Colton, and I understand that completely, but eventually he is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He's going to be talked about a lot coming into training camp and preseason and everything else. Suhaib, I want your complete opinion on this draft, on how you see the pickup of Kenny Pickett?
Yeah, I'm 100% like on board with this pick. The Steelers, as you stated earlier, they did their research. They brought in all 5 QBs, and at the end of the day, I'm going to trust Colbert and Tomlin that they made the right choice. They did their homework, and Kenny Pickett is their guy. They got a real up close look. Considering he played for Pitt, he was in the same facility, shared the same locker room, as you guys were saying. I really believe that Kenny Pickett can be that guy, and that apparently the Steelers see the same. And I'm all for Kenny Pickett in Pittsburgh, man. Let's see it.
Nice, man. And I want to go to you now next. Ben, it is your turn to be spotlighted. You tell us on your feeling of picking up Kenny Pickett.
Well, I'll say this. A lot of people think that there was a big battle in Gettysburg in the year 1863 of Pickett's charge. That may have been, but this is the second coming. All right, get ready for a new battle cry here. A Pickett's charge coming through the Three Rivers here in the Heinz Field. Love the pick. He's in a great spot, being he's not going to be pushed into a starting position early. He has time to be groomed. He is already familiar with the facility, the city, the stadium itself, the fans, everything else, all the intangibles and stuff. And he's already been embedded in the Steelers' DNA in terms of being around Tomlin, Colbert, the entire front office, the Rooneys, for heaven's sake. I mean, he's practiced with the receivers. He's practiced with other guys or with the Steelers. And even it comes back to his offensive coordinator at Pitt. I'm blanking on it now. He was Ben's quarterback coach in his first year. So it makes all of the sense. Yeah, you can say it's, speak with the heart, and they draft from the past, so on and so forth. I think it's a good pick. I mean, yeah, I see why Colton's PO'd, because it may be too early, but seeing as where they need a quarterback and where they are in this, he's not going to be available here tomorrow. Book it. Pickett's charge, baby. He's coming for you. Let's go.
That is a great take. Great take. And Matt, your turn. I know you're not as happy about this, but we want to hear from all aspects of Steeler Nation to hear. Oh, I hit the wrong button on there. I'm going to spotlight you now and hear what you have to say about Kenny Pickett.
Well, I'm going to start with the positives. I mean, he's a quarterback that is probably the most NFL ready out of the bunch, partly because he's going to be a 24-year-old rookie, was in a very NFL-style offense. But that's kind of where the positivity somewhat ends for me. Has his average to slightly above average arm strength, doesn't have a very good deep ball, does not take good care of the football, especially with his fumbles. Incredibly high amount of fumbles throughout college. I don't think it was much small hands. I think it was just poor mechanics. So hopefully he can fix that. I don't know. I'm overall not happy with the pick. I did see something that Colbert or Tomlin, one of them, said that the reason they like Kenny Pickett is because of his day one readiness. So I believe this will probably be a competition to start immediately with Trubisky. I don't think this is going to be Pickett sit for a year behind Trubisky. I think this is going to be a true competition between Trubisky and Pickett. It's just I think this really lacks upside. I compared Pick to Jared Goff in my rankings. He doesn't have a big arm. He's very NFL ready, but lacks upside. Needs the players around him to be great to be kind of take his game to the next level. That's what happened at Pitt. Ended up playing with great receivers. Ended up playing in a wide open offense with a very good offensive line in front of him. Guess what? He finally performed. Had 3 or 4 subpar years, very average at best years before that. Another person compared him to Teddy Bridgewater. Similar situation there. So I don't know. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to support him. If he ends up playing great, but I'm not happy with this pick. I would have much rather Willis if they're going to go quarterback, but I would have much rather not quarterback.
Nice. Colton, I've had you off of mute for a while. I know you've been able to compose your thoughts. I want to hear your concise thoughts. I'm going to you for your solo on Kenny Pickett.
Oh, folks, you do not want this solo. Again, I do not want to be right on this. I want to be wrong. So, Ed, go root for the Browns. I'm a freaking diehard Steeler fan, man. I'm very passionate about the damn Steelers. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I'm like, Matt, you need special in the AFC, folks. I'm sorry. I don't know if you've watched the offseason. The AFC has gotten a freaking lot better. And the problem is these quarterbacks are all young, and they're going to be here for the next 8 to 10 years. And they're special. We have an MVP in the division. You have Joe Burrow, who just got to the darn Super Bowl and looked pretty darn good at it, and they've addressed the offensive line. I'm not even going to name the rest of the quarterbacks because they're all very, very darn good in this AFC. You need special. I don't think Kenny Pickett's special. I think Kenny Pickett's, again, pro-ready, great, awesome. Why do we need pro-ready? We have Rudolph, and you have Trubisky that can easily compete for the starting job. Why? Now we just have a third person and we want to compete so bad? I'm going to be positive. Like, I hope he works out. Trust me. I don't want him to stink. I don't. As much as, like, I'm always, like, I like being right on things. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But I feel like we are going to regret this pick. And guess who traded up to get the guy I wanted, Trent McDuffie. Wow, Kansas City slid right up and said, thank you very much. I will take Trent McDuffie. That's the guy I think the Steelers needed in a loaded AFC wide receivers. They needed a legit number one corner. McDuffie was there. The Steelers decided to go Kenny Pickett. Again, the quarterback wasn't needed right now, and they're sliding. Malik Willis, like Matt said, it was the guy I would have been acceptable with and not as pissed. I actually would have been like, okay with Willis. I'm actually like pissed. I'm very upset. But again, I hope I'm wrong. Yeah. So like Ed, I know, go root for the Browns. I sound like a Debbie Downer. I'm all in on the Steelers. If the background doesn't give it, my passion is there for the Steelers. I love the black and gold. So I hope I'm wrong. Again, I'm a guy from New Jersey. Kenny Pickett's a Jersey guy from Ocean, New Jersey. I want him to succeed. And I hope that is the case. I just don't think he's going to be special. Where Malik Willis had the potential to be special with the arm, the legs. And that's why I would have been less upset if it was Malik Willis. I would have loved it, but that's would have been my case.
And we've been seeing that too. Like the Steelers, the way it seemed like they were vetting quarterbacks, it seemed like they were leaning hard that it was going to be Malik Willis if they're going to go quarterback. So for them to be like, this is one of the first times where they were all in on a position, but it wasn't the player we thought it was going to be. That's like the first time they were ever able to pull that off.
Only thing that would say that, Stryker, is the fact that they see him all the time. So they don't have to go and like talk to him. Clearly, they probably have their sit downs and stuff, but they didn't have to go hardcore on the research on him because he's in the building. They see him. They see him at practice. They watch the games. They watch him. They see him. They know what he is. And again, the Steelers might know more than me. I didn't watch much Pitt football. I watched the championship game against Wake Forest. He had a good game, but like I don't see special. And when I look at the AFC, I need special. I need a guy that can put up 30-plus points.
He was a Heisman finalist.
Oh, my God. Yeah, a defensive player was also a Heisman finalist. Don't give me – dude, do not give me that nonsense, Ben. Ben, do not give me that nonsense.
He holds Pitt passing records.
Right.
He over Dan Marino.
Wow.
Because he played for 5 seasons.
Again,
a COVID season doesn't count.
Again,
He played
I'll
what,
see
8
what
games?
he does. I'm full blown on backing him. Like I hope, like I'm not gonna be all of a sudden just to be right. Screw Kenny Pickett. I hope he stinks. Like I hope the guy does well. I just don't see it, man. I just don't.
Well, now it's the time on the show where I am going to welcome the newest member of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I am welcoming the newest member with a beer from Triple Crossing in Richmond, who does some of the greatest IPAs in existence. This is called The Summoning, and the Pittsburgh has just summoned their newest quarterback, Kenny Pickett, from across the locker room to come and stay. You got an IC! Oh, Colton's got an IC. What do you got down there, Ben?
I have a little bit better than last year, a vanilla coffee blonde ale from Cabarrus County Brewery.
Very nice. Oh, that sounds beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
What do you got there, Matt?
It's currently non-alcoholic, but I'm quickly switching to alcohol here in a minute.
Damn right.
I'm drinking a Nitro Pepsi, which I've never tried before, and
that's the vanilla.
Awesome. Yes,
the vanilla is better than the regular. I like the vanilla a lot, man. That one's banging.
Awesome. I love vanilla cola. So I mean, I've never had it before, and I think I need to buy several more.
Justin, do you have a drink of choice?
Usually whiskey, but I have a show tomorrow, so I got to take it easy.
We'll keep you good. Suhaib, do you drink?
No, just water.
That is fine. So that water is acceptable. Any alcoholic, non-alcoholic. I'm cracking my beverage of choice. I am cheersing to Steeler Nation and welcoming our newest member to the team, Kenny Pickett. Welcome to the Black and Gold. Please prove Colton wrong. Cheers. Let's go, Kenny.
Cheers.
When you first started saying it, Stryker, I thought somehow you got Kenny Pickett on here. And I was about to be like, bro, I need to calm it down.
I was like, and we're going to Kenny right now. Oh, hey guys, Colton, I know where you live.
I'm like,
Jersey,
in the waiting room of our
I hope I'm
video.
wrong.
I'm going to punch you with my tiny fists. But I'm excited for it. This is, like I said, Steeler Christmas. It's a new player. I can't be as upset what other people are doing because obviously Colbert, Rooney, Tomlin, they wanted to go quarterback. They were able to get their pick of the litter with their pick, and they got Pickett with their pick. So
that was Colbert's last first-round pick.
Right. Yep. Unless we trade up. But I don't see anybody worth trading up for it now.
No.
Malik Willis.
2 first-round quarterbacks.
I put out
Colton
an
would have a
article.
conniption.
I put out an article saying that they could draft 2 quarterbacks. But my
That's great.
God.
See, whoever just commented on from Facebook, that's why that's why I'm hoping where I'm at, man. I hope.
That beer is not strong enough on my second double of Redbreast Irish whiskey. That's my boy Coolie Man, Robert C., enjoying a beverage. Cheers to you, Robert. As always, my friend.
About to go pour a glass of my Blantons and drinking my sorrows.
Fellas, I appreciate you having me. I'm out of here. It's always a pleasure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Justin, for joining us on the show and for spending as much time as you did with your show. Coming up tomorrow, right? And where can people see you? Where are you playing?
Yeah, Greensburg, Pennsylvania. I'm opening up for Clay Walker tomorrow night, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Have a great night. I'm looking forward to chatting with you back and forth. I'm going to be tweeting with you when we get some more picks.
Sure, for sure. I appreciate you guys. Be safe.
Thanks, Justin.
Anytime. Good luck, man.
Thanks,
Talk
Justin.
to you soon. Where is that one?
I don't know if anyone saw, but I think the Bills traded.
Yeah, they got a corner.
For
Elam, yeah.
Elam.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. I'm really delayed then.
Yeah, if I know what it is, you're delayed.
Whoa.
How I live life.
Mm-hmm.
I also realized how I said earlier how there's a lot of teams without off green. There's also a lot of blue teams in the NFL.
And red.
Yes.
Right.
There's what these people need to change their color scheme. Even like when I did the Saints versus Steelers, because Google Docs doesn't have that many different shades of gold. It made it difficult because I chose the Saints first, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of the one I would pick for the Steelers. Then I'm like, well, shit, now I got to choose a different one for the Steelers.
I'll be back. If you just want to drop me for a second, I got
No problem. No problem.
Step outside.
Don't jump off the bridge, Colton. Don't jump off the bridge. It's not
We
worth
call
it.
the hotline.
The Kenny Pickett hotline. Jerry over here. He has 3 games to take over the starting job and start putting up 400-yard games. Otherwise, he's a bust. That's a great Pittsburgh Yinzer mentality for any drafted player coming into the league. I remember people calling Troy Polamalu a bust. The game that he came in, we were playing against the greatest show on turf against the Rams. And I think he jumped in front of a pass and it went right through like his 6 hole in his elbow, and like Holt caught it behind him and ran for a touchdown. Everybody's like, oh, he's trash. He's the worst ever. People complaining about his head size being too big. And then he's going to get concussions all the time. What does he do? He becomes a Hall of Fame.
And Cam Hayward, he even considers himself as a bust. So
I've never at least heard anybody call Cam a bust.
So on his interview with Pat McAfee, this was, I think, last month, he said that he considers himself a bust because he didn't really gain the starting job until his second year in the league. Like his first year wasn't really that. He was more of a rotational guy, which I didn't even notice until he said it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he really wasn't a consistent starter until 2011. He was drafted in 2010. Just like, no, he is not a bust at this point. I would say that's great investment.
Right. And how about like the greatest pick? I mean, look at the TJ Watt draft. You think that we're going to redraft that draft and him not go 1 in that draft?
Right.
I mean, the guy is insane, and he keeps getting better every year, and he's starting to put himself into elite territory the way he's racking up sack numbers. Looking to break the Steelers' all-time record for sacks in his 6th year. In his 6th year. He can hit 100. It's insane, this guy.
Man, it's just
He's going to be the first Steeler player ever to hit 100 sacks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, just looking at it right now. Currently at 72. Probably not going to break it this year. I don't think he's getting 28 sacks this year. Got a shot at it.
A year and a half.
Yeah, but a year and a half, but definitely got a chance of getting another, 15, I think is doable.
He'll do it at the home opener, probably in 2024.
So when you guys go ahead.
No, I was just saying he's currently at 72 sacks. That currently sits behind James Harrison's 80.5. So he only has 8.5, 6.5 sacks to go to tie James Harrison. 7 sacks, and he has the outright lead. So he should be doing that by mid-season next year for the all-time lead in sacks in Steeler history in his 6th year with all the great players that we've had. Joe Green, LC Greenwood, James Harrison, Porter. The Porter got a ton of sacks too. Jason Gilden, who was our sack leader, official sack leader. When they went back and did the numbers, Joe Green had an extra half sack above him. LC Greenwood had 78. Greg Lloyd. Oh my Lord. Yeah. Passing Lloyd. Now he's 10, I think, on the numbers.
Gosh. And Kevin Green.
Yep. Kevin Green. I think he's lower just because he didn't play the years. I'm just saying strictly for sacks by a Pittsburgh Steeler.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So that's all I was going for on that. And that's
so just as an aside, the way that I think the second round here for tomorrow, starting at I think it starts at 7. I mean, looking at these players that are still available who are just sitting and waiting in the green room, man, tomorrow's going to be, I think, a fire sale. Like I said, second and third rounds, I think, are going to be popping here compared to what we've seen here so far this evening. This is just, it's setting up for an exciting weekend.
And here's an interesting fact too. Cameron Hayward's at 68 sacks. He's number 6 all time if you include Greenwood and Green's stats. So in 166 games, Hayward has 68 sacks. In 77 games, Watt has 72 sacks. He's nearly averaging a sack a game for his career. That's going to be all-time numbers if he can continue that path. And recently, he was at a 1.7 this past year for sacks per game because I was tracking that. And that's something that's really it's really difficult to be maintain anything over a 1 for a season because you're getting 16 sacks that season if you have a 1. 22.5 sacks in not even 17 games this year. It was down to what did he miss? 3 games last season?
Yeah.
That's just insane numbers. Insane numbers he was putting up.
Oh, man.
Miles is saying round 2, if it's Skye, I will be happy. And I will too. Honestly, I would be very happy.
Yeah.
He going to step out to cry. That's great, Robert. Right. COVID-19 rules are in effect. I think that Mason Rudolph could, in fact, be on the practice squad, right? I don't know how they haven't officially released what the practice squad rules are yet, but since we're still in technically the pandemic, I could see them extending that and having the veteran benefits and things like that. But Steelers keep 3 on the roster, like you correctly have been saying, but you guys were going back and forth internally within your own comments. I didn't have to show them all. But yeah, Steelers keep 3, and right now Rudolph's on the roster as well with Trubisky and Pickett. They're going to have to pick up a camp body. And I think at this point, I don't even pick up a second quarterback in this draft.
Matt, did you see who the Cowboys just drafted? Or not? Sorry, Josh. I know I'm on delay.
Yeah, Tyler Smith. He's played tackle at Tulsa. I think he's better at guard. I think he'll be the Lyle Collins replacement.
Yeah, but at 24,
I had him. Where'd I have him? I just had him. I had him at 37. So I mean, it was a little high, but I mean, I did a mock yesterday. I had, I think, Zion Johnson going to him.
Okay.
So I mean, it was just everyone's off the board. I mean, unless you wanted a center, which they don't need, because
Right.
Linderbaum's still out there. I mean,
Yeah.
all the other offensive linemen that I have above him are gone.
Has
I mean,
Penning been drafted? Did we see
Penning
that?
was the Saints. Yep. I thought that was a
Okay.
major reach. I also had Tyler Smith above Penning. I thought Penning was very raw mechanically.
Yeah, I think
But
he's a little
He's
overrated
very
too.
slow.
Yeah, people loved him at the Senior Bowl because he was mean and just tried to
Mhm.
run everyone over. But if it don't matter,
You
if
can't
hold
throw
everyone,
guys in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
easy hold.
if you hold them, if you can't
Throw them into the quarterback.
Yeah. So I mean, I had Penning as my 48th prospect. So, woof. But
So could Logan Hall be there in round 2? Yes, Cope, he's my boy out of UH. Would you guys think about Logan Hall being an option in round 2, or would you say maybe pick him up a little later in the draft?
I think there's a chance he's there. I have him as my 42nd prospect. He would be an interesting fit in the Steelers defense. I think he'd be kind of in between positions a bit. That's my only concern with him. I think he fits more naturally in a 4-3 where he can be a little bit more of a gap penetrator versus kind of like a block eater, which is what a lot of the Steelers 3-down linemen do. Even though Cam Hayward does get into the backfield, that's not his first primary goal. His first primary goal is to keep the linebackers clean. And that's not really Logan Hall's game, but they've drafted 4-3 linemen in the past because you kind of have to. There's not enough 3-4 defensive linemen readily available.
Yeah.
So I think that he could work with it because he's athletic, position versatility, but it would just be a weird fit for him the way he plays in a 3-4. But I think there's a chance he's there, but there's only probably a couple more interior linemen, defensive linemen that I have ahead of him. Maybe Devontae Wyatt and Travis Jones, I think.
Yeah. And Suhaib, now that we've got a quarterback this round, who are you targeting in round 2?
Wide receiver. I feel like that's going to be the next pick, especially if a guy like Pickens, who's still falling, if he's there. Skye Moore, Christian Watson is still available. There's still a ton of guys, honestly.
Yeah.
Corner, I'm not so sure you go second round now, especially with all these guys that are going off the board. So for me, it's just wide receiver. That's honestly the position I think the Steelers need to attack.
Great. Ben, your thoughts too?
Yeah, I would say corner or wide receiver. Steelers have been notorious for using the second or third round, but mostly the second round as a wide receiver. So, I agree is that I would expect to see a receiver. Third round, I would say maybe a cornerback as well. There's still Kyler Gordon out of Washington, who I still really like. There's still a lot of depth there still at the cornerback position that's going to be drifting into tomorrow. It's McCollum out of Sam Houston State is another one. So I would say a wide receiver and cornerback for tomorrow.
Nice. And I'm going to welcome back Colton Gesser from his walk around the block. Time to have a cigarette, relax, take a couple shots. Good to have you back on the show, Colton. You know I love you no matter what, man. You know that.
He's still on mute.
Oh, you're on mute. I'll unmute him. I can't unmute because the guests chose to mute themselves. There we go.
We're good boys. We're good.
Yay!
Good boys.
Welcome back.
Yeah, had my Kenny Pickett rant. We're good now. We're all in on the Kenny Pickett train, and we're good now. We're gonna bite our tongue a little bit, but we're right. All right,
it's already official. You just got to move with it now, man.
Again, like I said, I want the guy to be good. So I'm not gonna be the guy just trying to be right. I hope I'm wrong, man. I really do, but we'll see. Everyone's excited. I was just on Twitter when I was just out and away there for a second, and I think all those guys are pumped. TJ Watt, Hayward, all those guys are excited. So
good.
We'll see what he can do, man. We'll see what Kenny Pickett can do. Seriously, let's see what he can do. But round 2, I'm looking. It has to be wide receiver. Like, it has to be now.
Yeah.
They didn't. They said so. I had a feeling they were going to act this way, and I knew they weren't going to think like I'm thinking. How they need a legit number 1 corner. They have 3 solid number 2s with Sutton, Witherspoon, who could be one, and Levi Wallace, a free agent from Buffalo. The Steelers, I think, had the idea that they have corner already done. And I've even mentioned Arthur Mollett in the slot and James Pierre as their depth guy. The Steelers already have their corners. I knew they weren't going to think like I did in drafting a corner. Their second round has to be receiver. Like, I don't think it's really a question unless there's someone there that shouldn't be there, whether it's a safety. I mean, they're definitely going receiver, I feel like, round 2.
Yeah, especially with the free agent still available at corner. Do they bring back Joe Hayden? Do you guys think that's a possibility now?
That's
with,
that's
the way
a
the
good
draft fell?
point. Yeah, our boy
I
Robert.
think he's going to Buffalo, in my opinion.
I mean,
now my boy Robert's been asking about that too, about bringing back Joe Hayden, and we've been talking about that on the vidcast a lot. Made a good point as well, stating that Joe Hayden could probably even come back and play free safety. And my only point is we just don't have a need for free safety on our team. But if he could still play corner, I'm all for having him in the mix with Levi, with Witherspoon, with Sutton. Maybe move Sutton into slot full time and have maybe Norwood come in situationally as opposed to more relying on Norwood so much this upcoming season. But we don't know how he's doing as well. Maybe he is going to be much improved this year. He was already a 7th rounder that started in his first game as the slot corner. So would be really interesting to see how he develops this year.
I mean, yeah, I could see the only way I could see Hayden really coming back into Pittsburgh is to be, I think, back to almost like a Deshae Townsend and like Willie Gay, kind of like almost like a profit sharing, if you will, or a timeshare, opposite of Mike Taylor. That's really it. But I mean, I think I was talking with my buddy today, who's a big Buffalo Bills fan. He said that he's been seeing Joe Hayden up there in Buffalo. He's been talking with Von Miller. So
they think they're waiting probably after the draft and maybe picking him up then.
Right. See where the cards fall in the draft.
Well, Baltimore's offensive line got better.
Do they have a need for free safety in Buffalo?
I don't think
Baltimore
so. I think they have Jordan Poyer.
Yeah, Lindenbaum.
They got Linderbaum.
But they need cornerback help. If anything, they need quarterback help. And I think they were looking to draft a corner here early on in the draft.
That is a big win for the Baltimore Ravens in their first round. 2 home runs with 2 picks.
Yeah, absolute shocker. Baltimore having a good draft.
Yeah, getting an incredible strong safety. They see, for a team that goes out and say they draft, every team says we're going to get the best player available. Honestly, I can watch Baltimore's draft and kind of predict who they're going to get because it's going to be the best player available. And they definitely did in both of those picks, and they both help them out. Yeah, Hamilton, their first round pick, and then you got Linderbaum, their second first round pick. And plus, these guys can be tied to Baltimore for 5 years with a 5th-year option on each player. Freaking just destroys me.
All that for Hollywood Brown. Imagine that. Hollywood Brown turns into Linderbaum.
I'd rather have Linderbaum than Hollywood Brown.
Absolutely.
I think that's much better. Yeah, they made out. They made out. They still don't have a wide receiver, but it's not like they have a quarterback that can throw. So,
but they don't have Jordan Davis.
Hanging fruit from Stryker.
That's why I love them. That's how we beat them. Force them to throw. We're going to keep you in the pocket this game.
We got another trade.
Jets. Somebody coming into the first round again.
The New York
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, because they were out. But they've already had a first round pick. Who's their first rounder?
They've had 2.
They got 2.
Wow, this is their third. Sauce. Yep. Wow, they have a good draft. Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner. You think they're going quarterback here now? Maybe this might be
receiver.
Malik.
They already get a receiver.
No, they're not.
Garrett Wilson.
They got Wilson already.
Okay.
They got Wilson and Wilson.
Well, that's why I'm thinking this might be Malik Willis. Wilson.
No,
Wilson,
so they have Zach Wilson from last year.
Well, the www.weareawesome.jets.
Yeah, you can get Willis, Wilson, and Wilson all just run them all on a field together. And
so honestly, I haven't really paid attention to the draft since my freak out. What middle linebackers are off the board?
Quay Walker, that's it. And who is someone who I would not have taken as the first line. I wouldn't have taken him as the second linebacker.
I can see the Jets getting Dean.
This could be one of those fellas right here.
Or the guy from Utah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This could be Dean, or this could be one of the kid from Devin Lloyd. This could be either one of those right here.
Yeah, I could see Devin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd would make a lot of sense.
Team him up with C.J. Mosley. That's some pieces to play there for Robert Saleh.
Could be a safety too.
Assuming Mosley stays healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, Daxton Hill would be an interesting pick too.
Oh.
Or Lewis Stein.
Still
go back to Lewis Stein.
Oh, you know who I'm shocked? You know I'm shocked hasn't been taken. I know he blew out his Achilles.
Ojabo,
man.
Yeah.
After he blew out his Achilles, I saw very little chance.
That sucks.
That's a full year sit out.
Yeah.
Well, Cam Akers would tell you otherwise.
Yeah,
I remember
Cam Akers also came back in the playoffs in the Super Bowl.
I don't think we're going to bring a rookie back to play in the playoffs on the Jets.
But also, I mean, I had Ojabo as a back half of the first round pick, like pick 16 through 32 anyways. So, I mean, you tear your Achilles and out for year one, which also probably limits you year two because Achilles are no joke. I wouldn't pick that guy in the first round anymore, even though I think he has as much upside as Aiden Hutchinson.
Hey, dude, I'm not happy with the Pickett stuff. I'm not going to take the Michigan slander from you, Mr. Buckeye.
I just said Ojabo has as much upside as Hutchinson.
I don't know if that was bad. Yeah, come on.
I gave him a compliment saying he has as much upside as the second overall pick.
Like, so I think Aiden Hutchinson is TJ Watt is what I see. I see Hutchinson being Watt, sir.
Watt is a 10 times better athlete than Hutchinson.
Robert just chimed in on the trade here between the Jets and the Titans. It looks like the Titans gave up the 26th pick and 101, but to the Jets and the Jets. Sorry, yes, for the 35, 69, 163 to Tennessee for 26 and 101. Okay, that I just have to read it as opposed to trying to format it.
See, that's interesting. I thought they would actually get a lot of assets for next year. Because I feel like the Titans could be one of those teams next season with the quarterbacks to reload, see what Tannehill does this year, and then go all in on one of those guys next season.
Maybe they do after some of these picks because you got to think next year you get typically a pick a round ahead. So say they trade a second-round pick for a first-round pick because that's the way it typically works. You typically get a round up. So then you could trade a third for a second. So, I mean, it still could be a potential there because now they have to have so many picks between the second, third, and fourth round now. They feel like they've been adding so many.
Right.
They got Jermaine Johnson from Florida State.
Was that the guy that I was thinking that was perfect?
That's a good pick.
That's a good pick. Yeah. He was number 9 on my board.
Wow.
Honestly, could have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah, I'm surprised he lasted this long.
Yeah.
Especially with how Ed Rutgers flew off the board to start.
Yep.
Right.
I mean, the only 3 I had above him went in the top 5.
And Ahmed wants to know, who do we think is going to fall to the second round with a clear first-round talent? Because now we see that people coming off the board. I tell you the truth, Ahmed, I'd say the quarterbacks. A lot of people were saying, Malik Willis, possible first-rounder, Ritter, Coral. Mostly people are saying Howe could be like a tweener between first and second round. So you're going to see a lot of quarterback talent. Looks like dropping here to the second round.
N'Kobe Dean's another guy, potentially, depending on what people think. Devin Lloyd. There's so many other guys that are still
traded in.
Good call, Abe.
You see Jacksonville replacing that, though, right now? They just lost Miles Jack. Do you see them picking one of those middle linebackers here?
Ooh, that's a really good pick. If
that is an excellent.
That would work out
for them. That would work out for them perfectly for getting rid of 2 of their inside linebackers in 2 years.
Lamar Jackson just tweeted WTF. Did he just now see the Hollywood Brown trade? Is he like an hour late?
No, he saw his new center.
But maybe he should be happy.
Yeah, I think he just saw the Brown leaving him. He's probably most upset that Hollywood Brown has left him because I'm sure those 2 were close. And like I said, that's a complete surprise. It's like if the players knew about it, we would have known about it in the Baltimore area that there was like problems in the locker room with Antonio Brown's little cousin Hollywood.
I think he caught the most passes from.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I think he caught the most passes from him. He was the number 1 receiver.
Well, last year I thought it was their tight end, but I think in general, probably like over the career for Lamar Jackson, I think
as a receiver, as a receiver.
Yeah. Oh, as a receiver, not as a tight end.
Wow. even like just going back to the top talent here going into here at some point in second or third. I still like Kobe Bryant. I mean, we already kind of had him pinned as like a day 2, but dude was ranked. He was voted the #1 cornerback in college football last year. He won the Jim Thorpe Award. So, I mean, if I'm looking at secondary talent here for next year, I'm looking at Kyler Gordon. I'm looking at him, really. I'm looking at Kobe Bryant, those two guys.
Ahmed's a funny guy. Funny guy here.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Did you not see his comment over here with small hands picking under center whose stock's going up?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, small hands. Whose stock is going up, Deontay or Najee? Well, I'm saying it's Najee because I've been saying it for the year. We are a Najee Harris offense. We were a Najee Harris offense last year with Ben Roethlisberger. We will be a Najee Harris offense this year again. Unfortunately, we have much better interior offensive linemen. We'll see if we can add to the tackles as well in this draft.
So it's non-Pittsburgh related. Who do you guys think are like the winners of this draft are?
Baltimore.
I think New York. I think the New York team.
I think the Giants.
Jets are doing well too.
Jets and Giants have hit home runs so far, and they had to.
Yeah.
We talked about leading up to this draft how good the talent was in the top. Like those guys were really, really good. Like you have legit corners coming out, and the Jets got one of them. They got a freaking pass rusher that Matt just said is ranked 9th on his board at pick 26. That's wild. The fact that they got him. And then same thing with the Giants. They got their edge rusher who they didn't probably expect to be there, and they got one of their better tackles that was available on the board. I think the New York teams hit an absolute home run, and shocker in the division, Baltimore doing a very, very good job of drafting.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, both Jets and Giants snagged a bunch of people. Ravens did well. I'm going to slowly sneak in the Titans as a winner because of how much draft capital we got. Even though they gave up A.J. Brown, it means they don't got to pay him. I'm not
Save $100 million.
Yeah, right? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, we got to think about that every time we develop a wide receiver now. Holy shit, it's getting expensive.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the next couple of years transpire with that.
Yeah, and it's
I
funny
think too on that. No, I'm sorry. On that same note, I think that's why we've seen so many wide receivers being taken early is because people are starting to see the price tags for them. So if they see that talent here and available in the draft, they're going to hop all over that, and then they're willing to, sign to that 4-year rookie deal. Have them play it out. If they are really that good, trade them off and dump the draft stock, and you still have another draft cycle to go. So that I think what we're seeing now is just like the new generation of the game where we're seeing wide receivers getting churned out here just because it's the high demand at this point.
Yeah, and it's thick in talent. Like this is probably one of the best wide receiver drafts in a long time. So I'm glad that the Ravens are not drafting one.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yet.
Ahmed likes the Carolina Panthers draft for sure right now, obviously. Steeler Scotty, you said Maddox and Ben. St. Pierre was not on the practice squad. He was the third quarterback, so he was just inactive on game days each day in 2004. And St. Pierre had like the longest like backup career. He was like in the league on like between practice squads and the backups and like inactives just because he was never active for games. So he was like on teams for like 10-year practice squad on certain teams. Just because he didn't have enough starts to be actually like rostered.
He was Mr. Preseason.
Yes, he was. But that guy could hold a clipboard. Oh my Lord. Wow.
Had the headset working?
Only he and Josh Dobbs, man. Those guys, I've never seen it hold a clipboard better than those two quarterbacks, man.
Was Brian St. Pierre on the Arizona Cardinals?
I love Dobbs, man. I just say
I love Dobbs.
Like everybody like making fun of Juice Staley, calling him a sweatpants model. That's like one of my favorite comments ever on Juice Staley. Always on the sideline in sweatpants because he's hurt. He always wore those gray sweatpants with his like black and gold stuff. It was hilarious. Going back in history.
See, where do you think Daxton Hill ends up going? That's another. He's a nice, solid player. You can probably move all over the field.
Wow.
Where do you boys see him going? Another safety. Do you see the Steelers usually don't. Do you see the Steelers trading back up in the first round? Because they clearly don't love Terrell Edmonds. I know Stryker does not.
I do not.
I'm on Team Edmonds. They signed him to a 1-year deal. Do you see the Steelers possibly trading back up into the first round to get Daxton Hill, who's kind of sliding back? I mean, I don't see it.
No.
But
No.
Not into the first round. I could see them trading up maybe in the second, but it's too much capital to trade back into the first.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna draft. I don't want this as a disclaimer. This is not me saying I want this. I don't know why I see like a Nick Cross getting the call from Tomlin being a safety from Maryland. We've seen it before. So why not? I would see it again.
Yeah. And I will state too, Colton, you know that I'm not huge on Edmonds, but I will state if Edmonds was ever going to stay on the team, I am happy he signed for a $2.5 million contract as opposed to a $6+ million 50-year option, which the Steelers smartly declined.
Yeah. I seen an interesting question here in the comments. If the Steelers don't go wide receiver or cornerback, where do they go in the second round? I wanted to get your thoughts. I think defensive tackle for me.
Oh, good call.
Especially with the way
linebacker Jacksonville, they got Devin Lloyd.
Yeah. I think possibly offensive tackle as well too, Sahaib.
It depends on honestly who's the best player, but like if the best player available is defensive tackle, like I really would go with that. But defensive tackle, especially with the way our run defense was last year, it was just horrendous. And a guy like Travis Jones, if he's there, he'll man up the middle. I'm fine with that 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say D-line as well. Assuming, again, we're not going quarterback.
I would also say possibly strong safety. I was talking about the Penn State strong safety as well earlier in the show. I think he could be a target in the second round.
Yeah.
That's another possible target, yeah.
Yeah, so Jacksonville basically is just loading up on the Georgia defense. Man, those poor Georgia boys, they're going to go from winning a national championship to not.
Trayvon Walker.
Devin Lloyd played for Utah.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought.
No, that's Nicole.
There we go. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ben.
I was on delay.
No, you're fine. Devin Lloyd, I mean, he's an old school thumper.
Like Devin Lloyd, though,
he's an old school thumper and a modern linebacker's build. Fast, athletic.
He has a motor.
Utah. No, I short.
Stryker, I have no issue, my friend.
How many beers have you had?
I understand what's.
I've had a third. Oh no, 2/3. 2/3 of the beer. Sorry.
Stryker,
I haven't drank in a while.
I understand what's going on. I get it.
What do you got?
I understand the backlash that I should get. He's a local kid. I'm not stupid. Like, I understand.
Right.
A lot of Steeler fans are Pitt Panther fans.
Right.
I get it, dude. I understand, Robert. I see it. I'm not pouting, my friend. I had my freaking 5 minutes of being salty. I'm over it. Do I still love it? Absolutely not.
15.
Oh, no, Stryker.
I love you, bro. You know that.
On, jeez.
You know
again,
I love you.
I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going to sit here and like root against it. Like I had like, you want to go 15 minutes? Go for it. 15 minutes of being pissed with Kenny Pickett. I'm now all in on Kenny Pickett. Let's see what the guy can do. I want the guy to do good. Yeah. So you can say I look pissed over here. I may have been. I'm good now. It's out of the way. I'm good to go. So, Robert, I'm a diehard Steeler fan. I want the Steelers to do good, my friend. People who may not think I want them to do good, I want them to do good, my friend. Trust me, I'd rather Kenny Pickett do really good and bite the bullet that I was dead wrong on him instead of seeing the Steelers stink and being the tanks, my friend. Sorry to tell you, I think a lot of Steeler fans would rather do that, and I'm definitely on that train. So, Kenny Pickett, let's go, my man.
And he's not upset, Robert. It's post nasal drip. He had to go off the air for a little bit. He's
allergy
good.
Season.
No, he'd be way more excitable right now. He's way more excitable when the draft pick happened. He's much more mellow now. I got to do one because That's why this is a crazy thing because I haven't been drinking at all lately. Like this is one of the first beers I've had in a very, very, very long time. Because last year, as some of you guys know in the comment section, I cracked a beer for every Steeler that joined the team. So obviously day 1, day 2, I'm fine. Day 3, by like our 6th pick, I was slaughtered. And then of course, like all the undrafted rookie free agents, when I lined up my shots, not a smart idea.
Nah, you got to run it back. Run it back. Steelers are gonna make some moves yesterday. You're gonna be sloshed tomorrow, dude. Steelers are gonna make some moves tomorrow, and you're gonna get sloshed. I can't wait for it.
I would like to see them make moves no matter what. I mean, I'm always into the Steelers. You know, that's what I got to say. It's NFL Christmas for fans. We're getting presents. We're getting new players to unwrap underneath the tree. We got 1 tonight. We're getting 2 probably tomorrow. We're getting 4, I guess, lined up for day 3. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got a lot of presents to unwrap before we get to our, the socks and the other stuff that we get there as the undrafted rookie free agents. But maybe one of them might turn into be a jam.
Yeah, and the thing is with the draft, this is the best draft. Like the NHL draft, the MLB draft, and the NBA. I'm sorry, and I'm a big NBA guy. None of them compare with the NFL.
Yeah,
none of them. Like this, who sits here and watches a draft for 5 hours? Us, the suckers.
Right.
More football.
That's
like, no one's watching the NBA draft. NBA draft, you're watching the first 10 picks, and then you're checking on your team. No one watches that whole thing. This is great, and these guys are all going to come in and make impacts in this league. And dude, it's been a great night, boys. I'm very glad. Man, all right, I'm very mellowed out. Mellowed out with the word.
You can't take back your tweets.
I only tweeted once. No,
I agree. It's fantastic night.
That one's staying there, and I hope Kenny Pickett turns into a freaking Pro Bowl, future Hall of Famer, and then I'm on ice cold tweets down the road, and it's I get somewhat famous.
Oh shit!
That comes back and bites me. I'm sitting there, I'm cool with it. I'll take it, man.
So Mark Madden just tweeted out today that he thinks Kenny Pickett is going to be Pro Bowl player, Hall of Famer. Steelers would be dumb to pass on this guy. I just played in his hockey tournament last weekend in Pittsburgh. My knee's still messed up. But I had a great time playing in the Mark Madden inline hockey tournament right there in where was it at? Robert Morris University Sportsplex. The place is gorgeous. Holy crap, is that a beautiful facility. But had a great time there. But he called Pickett for being a Hall of Famer. I know a lot of us have our opinions on Mark Madden. I'm not saying I completely agree with that assessment, but that's one of the few positive tweets that I've ever expected to see out of a guy like Mark Madden.
I hope he's right.
Oh, Colton, you are in for it.
Yeah, see, I'm good now. Everyone thinks I'm just the salty boy over here.
No,
Ben,
not
I'm good
at all,
now.
man.
I'm good, Ben. I'm good, dude. I
love it though.
I'm good, dude. I'm good. See, everyone you have to have the one freaking out of control idiot that just speaks his mind. And I'm sorry, boys, that had to be me tonight. You guys called it. I don't know which one of you said you better start drinking even more now. When you saw, I don't know if it was you. It was you or Matt. Ben.
I think it was Matt or Ben. Yeah.
Dude, Ben, you're son of a gun, dude. Okay. I'm gonna get you on Faces, bro. G.Stryker, Tony. Wait till I get you on Faces.
That's why I got to come hard on Spaces. I don't get as much time like I do tonight, but I do my snippets. I hit my hard 30 seconds to 45 seconds. I get out and I wait till the next time they come back to me. You got a great show, guys. Steeler Nation. I know you guys are on YouTube. You got to start following. If you don't follow our Twitter at Steeler Nation. Colton runs the Spaces chats. We usually do them, Monday nights and Thursdays?
You'd be correct, sir.
At 7?
Yep. You'd be correct. It's you're running it. Look at you.
That's what I do. I mean, I'm a numbers guy, and I run podcast. I'm more of a multimedia guy. That's why I usually do the shows. I used to do a lot of writing. I'm doing much more of the podcast, vidcast, and this is my baby. I love doing the draft show, man. We get to hang out, chat, have a good time, laugh. Talk about stuff off topic, talk about stuff on topic. I mean, and Sadala too. I'll cheers to you, my friend. I'll drink with you guys. I will drink to you as well. Cheers. Always a good cheers to Steeler Nation. Everyone. It doesn't matter. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic. And I didn't think I was going to drink tonight, but after getting a flat tire and missing an hour of my show, I'm drinking.
Addie boy.
Man. And the worst part, like, I got the flat tire, got out. I heard something weird. It felt weird in the car. Got out, and I heard it hissing out of the tire. And I'm like, I've got a mile and a half to go to make it to the tire place. Problem is, it's DC traffic, and it was all red. So I drove the shoulder, and I sprinted down the shoulder rush hour. Made it there, got to the parking lot. I had a light before I hit the parking lot. As soon as I got to the parking lot, I was on rim. But I at least made it to the damn parking lot before I got there. I was like, yes! And then I got there, and they're like, we don't do truck tires. I was like, fudgical! So they had to put air in my tire so I could make it up the half mile up the road to the NTB, and they were the ones that took care of me. Not Goodyear, but NTB took care of me.
Did the Packers really not draft a receiver? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, correct.
I'm
the Packers did not draft a receiver.
Packers don't know how to draft, dude. They really don't. Like, they've been a very, very confusing team, Ben. Like, they're very.
They drafted a D lineman.
Man, I
very
know this one.
confusing team. You have a MVP quarterback, and you draft Jordan Love.
I know
And
this
you
one
get
Packers
rid of
fan.
his number one weapon.
Yep.
Correct. Well, that's also
know-
Aaron Rodgers' fault, dude. Like, I was all in on Aaron Rodgers. Like, Stryker knows this, and everyone else who does the spaces know I was all in on Aaron Rodgers. Dude, I'm actually very happy they didn't get him.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of this, like, I'm very glad. He's a very selfless.
It's like when they drafted Love and Aaron Rodgers lost his damn mind, and he still hasn't been like full 100% committed to the Packers until they just made him that insane $200 million contract that just popped out for $50 million a year. I mean, smart on his part for being a douchebag for 3 years, but damn it.
He's collected so much money. You think you'd want in the NFC? You can win. What is it? Just the Rams? You're competing with the Rams and now the Bucks because Brady's back. But that's it. It's those two teams. In the AFC, it's like 10. The NFC, he can easily be taken less, had Devontae Adams, and if they were to draft another receiver tonight, they'd be right darn there in the mix again because they re-signed most of their defensive players. But
Like
Aaron
they're
Rodgers
guaranteed
said,
a divisional playoff game every year.
Right.
That weak division, of course, yeah.
And Ahmed has a great point here, too. Seeing as the Carolina Panthers were supposedly in the market for a quarterback, and now with your own new quarterback, do you think that they messed up?
Well,
Panthers, I'd probably say they did.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you say they would say.
They have Sam Darnold at QB. He's definitely not the answer, as you guys all seen.
Right.
I really think they should have won Willis. You know, you don't have to start him. And you know what? The Panthers, Matt Rule especially, that man needs a quarterback to that's the only piece they're missing. And then if they were able to get that, I feel like their team would take that next step, especially in a weak NFC, as you guys were just saying.
Colton, what you were saying?
See, the way I'm looking at it, same token, it's weird because I think Matt Rule was thinking the same way a lot of people were thinking on this class, that it's not that good. We'll wait till next year. I don't know if Matt Rule has that long. So I'm actually shocked they didn't take a quarterback unless they gave him safety, unless they said, see what you could do with Darnold because they picked up his option, see what he can do. And if he's good, great. And if he stinks, they're up there for a quarterback next year, which was build the roster now, which did they take an offensive lineman with their first pick, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of their mindset. So I kind of think that's what they're thinking. And look at the way the draft's going. Malik Willis is still there. So they can come up and get him like, hey, we thought Willis was going to Pittsburgh. We can come up and get him now. And here we go. So I don't think this is necessarily out of the game yet. The way this draft is happened here, Willis is still there. They can easily come right back up and get him.
What do you mean? They don't have to come back up to get him because they're drafting 6th in the 2nd round. He might be on the board.
Well, if they
are? No, they're not.
Wait, I don't think
they not?
they are.
They don't have a second round.
Oh, okay.
They don't have
They
a day 2
drafted
pick.
6th in the 1st round, so I assume they drafted 6th in the 2nd round. You're right.
They don't have a day 2 pick.
That's an even more better. Yeah, that's a better point. I'm at. Yeah,
they gotta wait a full 2 rounds,
right?
A full 10 in the draft.
No,
but at least trading up into the 2nd when you don't have a day 2 pick, or trading up into the 3rd to get a possible maybe 2nd or 3rd quarterback off of the board. That's not a bad move. You
know, if you are the Panthers, do you consider trading up for Malik Willis, like into the second round if he falls to the second round. Actually, what do you guys think?
I don't see any team here that's going to pick him. Like we got Patriots have Jones, KC's locked into their quarterback.
Yeah,
Bengals were in the Super Bowl with their quarterback. You got Cousins. Is it did they get rid of? They still got did they re-sign him? Signed him again.
Extension.
Yeah, Cousins is the most interesting quarterback, salary wise, that you will ever do for a social experiment. The amount of dollars this guy made because he was in Washington and they didn't want to sign him long term. He was on like 2 back-to-back franchise tags, played on them both, then got paid out the ass by Minnesota when he came over there. And now when he's going to be a free agent next year, they're like, nope, we're locking him down. He's our guy. I'm like, wow, that guy's career he's been paid nearly as good as Ben Roethlisberger playing for Washington and Minnesota, as opposed to going to Super Bowls with Ben Roethlisberger. Like, it's like he's on that kind of par for the kind of cash he's been making.
Police job there by Kirk Cousins. The dude's got a good agent. Best agent in the league. I don't care what anyone says.
Easily.
I don't care what anyone says.
Easily.
We got a shocker. The Patriots
I gotta
Cole
run,
Strange.
boys.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Appreciate all you guys.
Oh, Colton, thank you so much for being on the show. I love all your takes, positive, negative. Because at least you're concise and you explain your reasoning each and every time. I have zero problem with you ever.
Hey, I hope I'm back on, Stryker. Next year's draft, and Kenny Pickett is out here wheeling and dealing, and I'm very wrong, and I will gladly admit it to all Steeler Nation. But for now, boys.
Yeah, when we have Pickett on the draft show next year, it'll be fine.
Yo, I'll see her and gladly say, yo, Pickett, I was wrong, dude. I was wrong. You're a dog. You're nice. All right. I was wrong. I'm an idiot from Jersey. I'm very sorry. The Jersey.
Thank you for the Super Bowl last year and your rookie year. It was great.
But guys, I appreciate it. Here we go,
right,
Steelers, and let's freaking hit some freaking home runs the rest of this draft. Boys.
Awesome, dude. Thanks for joining. See you, Colton. Awesome. Great take.
You guys see Cole Strange, Patriots, another reach.
I had him outside my top 100.
Exactly.
Wow. Did they lose their GM when they lost their quarterback?
I don't know, man. Patriots and reaching on picks that just match made in heaven.
And that's something.
No,
you finish the game.
I'm saying the Chiefs, apparently they went George Karlaftis. I'm seeing in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing down here too. Yeah, Robert's been the one that's been Cooley's been throwing up all these picks, showing at least. So that's why I usually throw him underneath while we're talking, just to give Steeler Nation who's watching at home that we know what's going on in the draft. We're not always talking because we are Steeler. This is a Steeler conversation from balls to bones. I mean, we're going to comment on the draft eventually, but we're going to talk about mostly Steeler stuff, and that is why we are a nice companion piece. If you don't want to watch the talking heads that say the same shit year after year on ESPN and NFL Network, and they can't say bad stuff about people anymore because the one time they said it, they got upset and it was a big deal and the guy loses his job and he's so sorry that they bring him back the next year because he'll never do it again. But all that crap, we can say whatever we want. Colton can lose his freaking mind that we drafted Kenny Pickett. We don't care. It's fine. We have different opinions. We are Steeler Nation. We are
whose line is it anyway? Right? The rules are made up. They don't matter.
Yeah, points don't matter. Nobody cares. We all have opinions, but we'll see what happens when they hit the field. That's the important thing. The only other time though where I can remember where Steeler Nation lost their freaking minds on a draft pick was Jarvis Jones. Because a lot of people were just you see, look what happened around the Diaz hair. Everybody's shaking their head why did we take that guy? It's we could have made so many better picks. I would have been happy taking Honey Badger there in the first round as opposed to him going in the third. Would have worked out way better for us and for Honey Badger, to tell you the truth. He'd probably still be donning the black and gold by now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's just... people on Shazier, I can remember people being who's Shazier? But nobody was upset about Shazier when we drafted him. People were just who is Shazier? And then they saw his metrics and his spark, and they were like, holy crap, this guy's the most athletic guy ever. And he was a monster until he got injured, unfortunately, ended his career. But the guy had all the potential in the world. And he was trending up to be like a perennial All-Pro. The guy was in possible Hall of Fame track the way he was playing and knows it for the football. The guy was just making plays every game for that defense that really was not as good without him, and was the reason why we couldn't make the Super Bowl in 2017 once he got hurt.
Man, that was a frustrating year. The Jaguars decided to like blow up like the only year Blake Bortles had a few good games, and it was against the Steelers. It's just unlucky, man.
I know, because we put up a ton of points in that game too against their incredible defense. It's like you would have thought that number would have come up.
You'd think, before the game, it's like if we score 20, we win that game, considering how bad that Jaguars offense. We scored 42, and yet they still lost, and it's just so frustrating.
Right.
That's probably the worst playoff loss in Tomlin's era, like in recent memory.
We know where the Bengals are. Where?
Hill.
Oh, man. Daxton Hill.
I personally am not as high on him as some of the others. I think he's a versatile safety, but I think he's a quick starter, but I think he lacks a true position, in my opinion. Not a good enough corner to truly play on the outside consistently.
He's a defense back, basically.
Yeah, he's kind of a rotational piece. If the Bengals use him right, I think it would be great. I said the same thing when the Bengals signed Mike Hilton. They needed to use him right. They did for Mike Hilton, but that doesn't necessarily mean they will for Dax Hill, because if you have too many of those Swiss Army knife guys, it doesn't necessarily work. You need some structure around them to let them fly around and move everywhere. So if you don't have structure in the other pieces, I don't know.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
And Suhaib, I just want you to know, Sadala is your biggest fan.
That's great.
You get some love here on the internet, and awesome. I love that all of Steeler Nation and Steeler world is in here talking about. I've got an interesting question here from Ahmed as well. As a Steelers collective, if you had to have 3 stars on your defense, choose one below. Okay, these are. It looks like there's like a chance. You got like Team A, and Team B. Okay, or Team. Okay, so you have two different teams to choose from. Team A, prime Watt, Lambert, and Hayward. Team B, prime Harrison, Polamalu, and Kevin Green. Those are two. That's a great question, Ahmed. Absolutely great question. You like A. You like Watt.
What was the first one?
Watt, Lambert, and Hayward. It was the first one. I probably would have to go with that just because you get the 2 linebackers and the defensive lineman. This one also
it's hard to throw from your knees.
Yeah. If you had Kevin Green and this one changed to Greg Lloyd, I would probably take Team B over Team A, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, Troy's...
that is like this is like an either or. It's like
Troy is a secondary in himself. So
right.
Throw him back there playing center field.
Right. And that's the only secondary player we have that we even discussing. So just having Troy and Harrison, I'm going to change my vote. I might have to go with Troy and Harrison just because those two won 2 Super Bowls together.
That is a good point.
So Harrison was a backup in the first one. I mean, I'm going to get ahead of myself on that one. But they made it to 3.
Part of it. He still has a ring.
They did make it to 3 together. Yes, he does.
I'll lean Team B.
He made his all-time greatest play he had 2 awesome plays in 2005 when he wasn't even a starter. One was on Monday Night Football, was one of his only starts of the year. I think Porter was hurt, and he intercepted the ball and hurdled LT on the interception return. And that was
the game that Bang got hurt.
Right. And then the Christmas Eve game in Cleveland, he's not even playing. A Cleveland Browns fan runs on the field.
Security.
And he power bombs the guy on his own field. Oh my gosh, that was just like.
And it was a 41-0 game too.
Right.
After that, 41-0.
Right. Yeah. And another reason too why I take having Harrison on there is he's one of my trump cards. It's because he made the longest play in NFL history, which is behind me over here, always on my wall. The 100-yard return of that interception return, which gave us he should have been the MVP in my opinion. He should have gotten Super Bowl MVP for that play alone. Except he decided to punch a guy when he was on the ground. So like, they can't give that guy the MVP. He's too aggressive. He plays fucking defense. Give him the MVP.
Yeah, I mean, that was what, like a 14-point swing?
Right.
Really? In that
right at the
10
end of the
seconds.
half. That was going into the end of the half as time is expired. Time expired when he crossed that end zone. That was
Right.
it. And if Fitzpatrick, who I think is the greatest receiver, one of the greatest receivers ever to play the game, if he went for the tackle instead of trying to go for the strip at the goal line, he would have tackled him. And that would have been a different situation. There would have been no time on the clock, no points exchanged on that board. And it might have been a Super Bowl.
I think him being playing for Pitt kind of like factored in. Larry Fitzgerald like kind of held himself. He's like, you know what, I'll help you guys out.
Good call, Swain. Oh, I like that connection. That's why I was always hoping it's like, oh, maybe he'll come. Maybe this is the year he's going to come back and play for Pitt for 1 year.
Yeah.
Like,
in all fairness, Kenny Pickett, Jesus Christ, thanks guys. Larry Fitzgerald should have gotten a penalty on that anyways for running out of bounds for about 15, 20 yards. Granted, there was
he
also
ran through the
penalties
Steeler
on
sideline.
there was also a block in the back.
Well, you're wrong at least for that, because that rule is only effect on kick returns. I don't think that rule is in effect on a defensive return for a football. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just for returning plays in general. But you are right. Yes, he did run down the sideline for a majority.
I think it's for any play you're not allowed to just continue to. You have to make an effort to get back inbounds regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think you just try and stay out of bounds, which he did for a solid 3 or 4 seconds. And
the interesting aspect for that, though, I don't think that would have extended the play, because they would not have been considered to be on defense. It was an offensive play that we were intercepted returning. So if he would have gotten penalized, there would not have been an extra play for us to be able to get points.
Yeah, I think there would have been untimed down. It should have been untimed
I don't think in that situation, because I've seen that happen before on one of the games where we were playing Green Bay, where we blocked a field goal. We started running it back, but we had a penalty when we ran it back. So Green Bay got the ball back and was able to kick the field goal again. And that one drove me nuts. That was the same game where we kicked the onside kick to try to win that game at the end of the game. I think we did end up winning it. We lost the onside kick, but we did get the ball back and we ended up winning it. That was an insane game against Green Bay.
It was.
They were all those games, and then we had the other game against Green Bay where we hit Mike Wallace when time expired, when he was coming back to the end in that side of the end zone. Gorgeous ball by Ben. Gorgeous ball.
Back shoulder.
Yes. Oh, such a gorgeous play. Oh, yeah. I was hoping that would have been the Super Bowl as opposed to the Super Bowl we got to see against Green Bay.
Oh, man. 1 year, man.
Oh.
Hopefully soon.
And we're down at the very last pick.
Okay. Jermaine Stevens was a terrible pick also. Oh, here we go. Maher says, I'm a bigger fan of Suhaib. This is obviously somebody in his family, and we love it. We love it, Steeler Nation. he seems embarrassed by this one.
No, these are friends of mine from school. One is a Bengals fan, one is a Ravens fan. Made them watch this live. We're gonna slowly get them to become Steeler fans. We're slowly but surely.
Well, I was more hoping that you had another fan that was going to be a Browns fan. That would be like the best group of friends ever, because then you could all like crap on each other during games and just like have fun.
That's true. But no, I get my fair share of stick, especially with the Bengals making the Super Bowl last year. It's kind of tough, but it is what it is.
Yeah. We love you too, Robert. I appreciate each of your times and the open to criticizing me as much as I may some of you. We know it's all
run on
there.
Safeties. The run on safeties has went.
Yep.
Lewis signed.
They just signed one safety? Is that the run?
Lewis signed the safety out of Georgia. Just went after Dax Hill was picked before.
Okay.
Yeah, I had him above Dax Hill, quite honestly.
So did I.
That's
them both first round guys, but
Miles is asking, with Daxon Hill gone, do we see Nick Cross as our new safety?
Only if he's like I wouldn't say in the second round. Maybe even like the third round is a little bit of a stretch. I guess it depends on. I would say if he's there in the fourth, yes, but third, I don't know. I may just have like PTSD from a safety from like Maryland.
He is kind of built similar to Sean Davis too, so I guess that's a good and bad thing. But I honestly think if they want him I think third round would be a very good spot to take him because he would be a good backup to Terrell Edmonds, in my opinion. Both of them are physical, very good athletically. So I think he would be able to learn from Edmonds for a year before starting next year. I don't think he's a year one starter, so I wouldn't want him in the second round, but something tells me he won't be around by the time their third round pick comes.
Yeah.
And then, guys, we got one more question here from Ahmad. We loved your defense question. Awesome job, Ahmad. Now, this is for offense. You want team 1 or team 2 in their prime? Team A has Franco Harris, Hines Ward, and Bradshaw. Team B has Big Ben, Bettis, and Stallworth.
Another tough one.
Yeah. Ben, let's start off with you.
Yeah, I would say B. I guess too. This is probably not going to go over well within Steeler Nation, but I was born in '92, so in terms of who I've seen actually play, I'm going off of Big Ben and Bettis. Yeah, I know what Stallworth has done. I mean, he's a great receiver, obviously. Yeah. Yes, I know that, but I mean,
Ben would have gotten the best out of Stallworth too. Yeah,
right. Yeah, he could sling it. I'm not saying Terry Bradshaw couldn't, and then. Like Bettis, like peak Bettis, if you get the ball inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10-yard line, it's a touchdown with Jerome Bettis. So I'm going with Team B.
So hey,
I'm gonna agree with Ben here. I'm gonna go Team B as well.
Matt.
Team B. Give me Ben over Bradshaw.
Yep.
I think Franco probably over Bettis, but it's close. Franco was a little more dynamic, but Bettis was a stud. Stallworth and Hines. Stallworth was a bigger play guy. Hines was more consistent, but I don't think Bradshaw's getting him the ball consistently enough. So give me B.
I'm going to go against all you guys. I'm going Team A, and the reason why I'm going Team A is because I'm just envisioning Hines Ward playing in the 70s, and to see that slobber knocker type blocker that was a weapon in the running game, and having him being able to block now for Franco Harris would make Franco Harris even more dangerous. I think that would be just a really, for me, if you line up those teams and say which one's more fun to watch, I think watching Hines Ward block for Franco Harris and still go down and make catches, and Bradshaw would be able to deliver that ball. He was a pretty diverse and athletic quarterback in his own right. And he knew how to win especially when it came to prime time. I mean, that was his situation. Ben did as well, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd rather have Ben throwing those two guys the ball and running the rock with that. That's why I wished it was like, it would have been like Ben with like 2 old guys or Bradshaw with 2 new guys. I think that would be the best like way to kind of break down what you'd rather see on these, but I'd go Team A on this one.
Like Ben with Stallworth and Swan, or Bradshaw with Hines Ward and Antonio Brown.
Right.
Ooh.
Right. Yeah, that's a great call. That's a great one.
Interesting.
Who do you go there?
Huh.
Wow.
Because AB, when the man was on his game, the man was the best receiver in football. And
Ward's the best all-around wide receiver to ever play too. Yeah.
And pairing them up together is just, I have to go with them. I might because like, I'm a younger fan, but like I just have to go with Hines Ward, Bradshaw, and AB.
And if you look at Swan's numbers, like you compare them to a lot of receivers, they're not even in the top 10. Like he's a Hall of Famer, but he like lobbied to be in the Hall of Fame by being a sideline reporter, working with the NFL, getting the votes up, eventually getting in. And they remember his big plays. Like, yeah, he's a big play receiver in the playoffs and a big play receiver in the Super Bowl. A lot of people remember that. And that's before like social media and all that kind of stuff. So like all the stuff that you saw was like, if you won a Super Bowl, that's how you were known. And he was known because of that. That's how he made the Hall of Fame. But his numbers are actually fairly pedestrian when it comes to looking at Steeler receivers, and especially to make if you look at Hall of Fame receivers in general, they're like they might be bottom of the barrel as opposed to a receiver's stats for making a Super Bowl or making a Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. Other than his touchdown numbers are still pretty high.
Yeah.
Great show, guys. Thanks, Robert. We'll see you tomorrow as well, man. And hopefully I won't have a flat tire after my event down in Baltimore. Shiza. Yeah, it's been one of those kind of weeks for me. It's been super busy with tons and tons of events.
Same here, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. Was that everybody off the board, Lewis?
That's it.
That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Steeler Nation, thank you so much for joining us on day one of the Steeler Nation draft show. We will be back again tomorrow. I believe 7 o'clock is the start time for the draft, so we will be on at 6:30, and we will be talking Steeler slanted draft. You guys let me know if you're available. Obviously, I know I have my list in my spreadsheet, and I will be in touch. But Ben McCallion, Matt Papiramic, Suhaib, thank you all very much for being on the show today. Hope to see you again soon. Anybody have
Kenny Heisman, baby.
Yeah, Kenny Heisman.
Yep.
Here we go. All right.
Come on, Matt, before we go, are you on the Kenny Pickett train? Hop on that.
I'm on the train of whoever is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There we go.
Nice.
I just had to hear that. Let's go.
Now I'm not on the train of not holding them accountable for the picks that I don't think they necessarily made correct. So so I will eat crow though if he turns out to be the starting quarterback that you believe him to be. If he turns out to be Derek Carr, who a lot of people are comparing him to, I'm on board.
Nice. Great stream today, guys. Enjoyed it today. Good overall draft take. Take care. See you guys soon. From Ahmed, Michael Hall. Great stream as always. Stryker, go Steelers. I am G.Stryker with Ben, Matt, Suhaib, and all of you at Steeler Nation. Thank you so much for being part of our show. Sponsored by Total Sports Enterprises. Rooting along with you as always. Go Steelers! And I got Matt.